ball now to Tony Roberts and Tom Bagna at Baltimore.
Tony, they're about ready to give the starting lineup, and I know that everybody's eager to get this match underway.
Here's the way it goes. At wide receiver, Frank Lewis out of Grambling. Left tackle, John Colby from Oklahoma State. Left guard, Sam Davis out of Allen. The center, Mike Webster from Wisconsin. The right guard, Jim Quack out of Wake Forest. The right tackle, Jerry Mullins from Brigham Young. And the tight end, Larry Brown out of Kansas. The quarterback is Terry Bradshaw from Louisiana Tech. At running back, Rocky Blair of Notre Dame. Franco Harris of Penn State. At flanker, number 88, Lynn Swan from Southern Cal, the most valuable player in the Super Bowl. Now for a look at the Baltimore Colts defensive unit. At left end, Fred Cook of Southern Mississippi. At left tackle, Blake Barnes of Miami of Florida. At left right tackle, Joe Ehrman of Syracuse. At right end, John Dutton of Nebraska. At left linebacker, Darrell Luce from Baylor. At middle linebacker, Jim Gajewski of Syracuse. At right side linebacker, Sam White of Ohio State. At left corner, Lloyd Mumford of Texas Southern. At strong safety, Bruce Bird of American International. At free safety, Jackie Wallace from Arizona. And at right corner, Ray Oldham from Middle Tennessee State. Right now, we're getting all set for the kickoff.
Well, last year, the Steelers sent quarterback Bert Jones to the sidelines on the opening series. That was in last year's playoff opener. Then went on to beat the Colts 21-10. As we said, they entered today's game with a 9-game winning streak and a record of 10-4. Baltimore coach Ted Marchibroda feels his AFC Eastern Division champions are better prepared for this game. 9-game, they had a good year. He says the home field advantage also should be some help. Later on this afternoon, Los Angeles will visit Dallas in a rematch of last year's NFC Championship game, which was won by the Cowboys 37-7. The Rams have not won in Texas since 1967, and coach Chuck Knox says his club is overdue. Both teams enter the Super Bowl chase on less than solid ground. The Rams have switched quarterbacks all season. Rookie Patton Hayden, who won the starting job at the end of the year, has a knee injury. The Cowboys' passing game went flat near the end of the year. They're hoping, of course, that Roger Staubach will be sharp today.
A reminder about the best in college bowl schedules, all ahead right here over most of these mutual stations. Tomorrow night, the Liberty Bowl from Memphis, UCLA, and Alabama. Monday night, the 27th, Prize Mutual at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. The Bluebonnet Bowl opens up the New Year's Eve celebration in Houston. That's New Year's Eve. New Year's Day, the Orange Bowl and the Sugar Bowl. Mutual winds up with college football with a Senior Bowl from Mobile, Alabama. That'll be on January 8th, and again, you'll hear it all right here over most of these Mutual Network stations. Next Sunday, the American Football Conference Championship at Oakland, California. The Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. The black and silver Oakland Raiders waiting. They won yesterday by a score of 24-21. Kenny Stabler scoring the winning marker with 10 seconds left. In a wrapper up at Bloomington, Minnesota, it was the Minnesota Vikings 35, the Washington Redskins 20. Francis Asbury Chalkerton, the son of a Georgia preacher man, 3 touchdown passes. Brett McClanahan and Chuck Foreman each rushed for over 100 yards. So, we've got another game for you this afternoon. The team that will meet the Minnesota Vikings next week, well, that game's coming up this afternoon down at Texas Stadium in Dallas, Texas. The Los Angeles Rams, the Dallas Cowboys. We'll have that game following this match between the Colts and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The captain's meeting now at midfield. The Steelers have won the toss and probably will elect to receive. A bright sunny day here in Baltimore. The Steelers will receive. The Colts will kick off. And Tom Bagna, I don't know, this could be a tremendous football game. And for all intents and purposes, maybe this is the Super Bowl of the 1976 season.
Well, it could rightfully be so because, of course, one of these teams has got to lose, one has got to win and go on into the semi-playoff, and then, of course, into the Super Bowl on January 9th. But one of the things you've got to look at, Tony, I think, is the emotion involved. It's the long season. It's the reward of an ending of a season or possibly an ending. And then again, it's anybody's football game when talent is on the field.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll have the presentation of colors and the singing of our national anthem.
In our national anthem.
to go with the game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Colts. We said the Steelers won their last 9 after starting off 1-4. They lost to Oakland for openers, a game broadcast here over these mutual stations. Came back to beat Cleveland, then lost successive games to New England, to Minnesota, and to the Cleveland Browns. But they bounced back to beat the Cincinnati Bengals 23-6, the Giants 27-0, San Diego 23-0, Kansas City, one of the most potent offenses in the American Football Conference, 45-0. The Miami Dolphins 14-3, Houston 32-16, and a game broadcast on Mutual in the snow at Cincinnati 7-3. Tampa Bay 42-0, and they capped it with a 21-0 win over the Houston Oilers at the Astrodome. So the steel curtain has hardly been dented except for 2 touchdowns over the last 9 games, and the offense now will get an opportunity to do its thing. Ernest Hill, one of the deep men. On the far side, Prince Fuquay on the near side, Theo Bell. Tony Winhart will kick off for the Baltimore Colts in the white pants, the blue jerseys, the white numerals, the white helmets with the horseshoe. The Steelers in the traditional gold pants with a big black stripe, the white jerseys, the black numerals, gold piping, and the black helmets with the symbol of steel on the side. Winhart, soccer-style kicker, gets it up in the air. It'll come down about the 3-yard line. At the 5, the 10, at the 15, the 20, the 25. Look around the play. Who's got the ball? It may be enough. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Big fumble on the play. The Steelers did recover the ball. It was recovered by Prince Fuquay. Well, the hit was made by Freddie Scott, and one of the Steelers getting up very, very slow. That's the return man, Tony Ernest Pugh. He was really making a bid to get up in the pack, but he really got sidetracked when he got hit from a side angle, off the ball up, and for a moment it looked like the first big break on the first big play. First down and 10 to go, but the Pittsburgh Steelers at the 22-yard line. Offensively, it'll be Terry Bradshaw at quarterback. The running backs, Rocky Bleier and Franco Harris. The flanker will be Lynn Swan. The tight end will be Larry Brown. The wide receiver will be Frank Lewis. Here come the Steelers out of the huddle. Swan goes wide to the right. Lewis is out to the left. The Colts defensive front 4. Cook, Barnes, Harmon, and Dutton. Number 1 in the American Football Conference in sacks. Hand off to Franco Harris. Flies by tackle. Gets the ball from the 22 up to the 25-yard line. Left side linebacker Darrell Lewis makes the hit on the play. Lewis is 6'3", 227, just in his second year in the NFL. He is teamed with Jim Triumph and Stan White. Stan White is turning out to be one of the best linebackers. Right side linebacker, 6'1", 223, a 5-year man from Ohio State. Same alignment, split back. Lewis left and out to the right. We've got Lynn Swan. The tight end is on the right side. Bradshaw on the handoff. Rocky Bleier going to the right side. Dragged down from behind by Jim Triumph. The 6'1", 220-pound, 9-year veteran from Syracuse got right through and dragged Rocky Bleier down from behind. That was going to be that inside trap handoff, and then he was going to dip sweep to the outside, but Jayanski had a dead beat on him and caught that opening gap and really ran him down in his tracks. Jayanski will come out now as the Colts go to their nickel defense. The loss of a couple on the play. It makes it 3rd down and 8 now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Brian Sauter, 6'5", 196, a 6-year veteran out of Pittsburgh, cut by the Redskins, or rather traded by the Redskins to Miami, cut by Miami, and now picked up by the Baltimore Colts as a nickel back in there. Bradshaw back to throw. Looking, going long upfield. He's got Frank Lewis. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Touchdown! 3rd down and 8, and Bradshaw fired the ball up the middle. 76 yards. Bradshaw to Frank Lewis. Well, Jackie Wallace, I don't think figured that Bradshaw could actually put the ball in the air that far, Tony, because Frank Lewis just kept running. I mean, he really kept running. Bradshaw sent out 5 receivers. David Back had good protection, and when he lost it, it was nothing but run under it all the way. 76-yard pass play. So the Steelers on the board by a score of 6-0 in the opening moments of the game. Roy Girello will try for the point after. The holder will be Bobby Walden. Waiting for the snap. It's high, it's down, it's up, and it is no good. It went off to the left. So with a score, Pittsburgh 6 and Baltimore nothing. There's a timeout on the field. Now this Ford Buick.
Well, Bert Jones will be uncorking his arm now to try to get back in the game. He trails 6-0. Jones, the Colts' exciting young quarterback, was asked before the game if he is tense or nervous going into today's playoff game with Pittsburgh.
I really don't think we're tense. I think we can all go into this Cincinnati ball game and play a good game. No, I really don't think, well, I know I can only speak for myself, but I don't think that, of course, it's a bigger game and you want to win more and you're a little more anxious for this ball game, but I don't feel nervous going in this ball game like I've said in the past. Today I feel nervous walking in the football game. Today I better not step on the football field because I think when your nerves get to you, it's because you're either unprepared or not ready, whatever the case may be, physically or mentally.
Baltimore quarterback Bert Jones, and the old cliche, his work is cut out for him today. 6-0 Steelers, the Colts ready to receive the kickoff.
Out of bounds. Bruce Laird, who's come up at about the 25-yard line, decided to let the ball go out of bounds. So the kick results in a penalty because it did go out of bounds on the near sideline, near the Colts bench, and that means that Giretto will have to kick the ball back from the 30-yard line. Well, a touchdown pass was Bradshaw's 11th of the year, and the catch by Frank Lewis, a 78-yarder. Well, Kenny Stabler had one that was longer. The Cliff Branch against the Green Bay Packers, an 88-yarder. But that 78-yarder has to rank right at the top. 3 plays, 78 yards, a total of 1 minute and 39 seconds elapsed time.
That's got to be one of the better third down conversions I've seen, Tony. As a matter of fact, that bomb stunned the Colts. They really didn't know it all happened.
Little Howard Stevens is back there for the Baltimore Colts. He's a kickoff return specialist. He has been known to fumble the ball from time to time. The kick-the-line drive, fumbled by one of the upbacks. Picked up here by Bruce Laird at the 25, at the 30, coming to the outside and not going very far. Knocked down by Lauren Taves, a linebacker from the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the Colts get the ball at the 30-yard line. Well, it's going to be first down, and already we have just a little bit of a confrontation here between the Pittsburgh Steelers' Mel Blunt and one of the linemen from the Baltimore Colts.
Well, that's the tenacity and the intensity of this game, Tony. As a matter of fact, we've just gotten a report up on the opening kickoff return by Ernest Pugh for the Steelers. He has a bruised hip and probably will be sidelined for the rest of the day.
First down and 10 now for Baltimore, trailing 6-0. As the Steelers score on a 3rd down and 8 with a 78-yard pass play. Handoff goes to Lydell Mitchell. Lydell at the 20-yard line. Fights his way up to about the 22-yard line. A gang of folks up there. Middle linebacker Jack Lambert was there to make the hit on the play. And Jack Lambert, during that 9-game winning streak by the Pittsburgh Steelers, has played like a man possessed. 6'4", 220 pounds. A 4-year man from Kent State, and to say the least, Sam, a very active linebacker.
He really is that. As a matter of fact, one of the oddities about the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is the fact that they usually can put enough pressure on passers with their front 4 and let those linebackers play pass coverage.
Roger Carr goes wide left. Glenn Dowdy in the slot to the left side. Lydell Mitchell and Roosevelt Leaks are in the backfield. Handoff goes to Roosevelt Leaks. Tries the left side. It runs right into the waiting arms of one of the Pittsburgh Steelers. White, the defensive right end, and he's going to be dropped right about there. White is 6'4", 255, a 7-year veteran from East Texas State. Ernie Holmes, a defensive right tackle, number 63, 6'3", 260 to 60 out of Texas Southern. Mean Joe Green is getting meaner every game, number 75, 6'4", 275 in his 9th year from North Texas State. And L.C. Greenwood is the defensive left end, 6'7", 250, a 9-year man from Arkansas A&M. Johnny Shellner's come into the ball game. They've got the nickel defense in now as the Colts face 3rd down and 5 at the 35-yard line. Bert Jones back to throw, looking, fires up over the middle. Pass is incomplete. Intended for Lydell Mitchell. Lydell had that ball hit him, and he tried to run with it before he really had possession. Tried to turn it upfield at the 45-yard line, but he was hit immediately, and it's an incomplete pass. We may have had a penalty on the play.
A couple of the Baltimore players, Tony, are clapping their hands, but there doesn't seem to be a signal yet, and no flag is down.
They're having an offside against Pittsburgh. An offside rap against Pittsburgh.
That garnered a first down for the Colts and really gave them life on this drive. And I will say this, with 4 receivers out, Burt Jones did have people open.
He had Lydell Mitchell coming out of the backfield, crossing over the middle, wide open on the play. And we saw how penalties affected yesterday's game, the game we called between the Raiders and the New England Patriots. So it's the first down for the Baltimore Colts after a drop pass and offsides against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Back to throw. Jones fires. Pass is almost intercepted. Almost picked off by Jack Ham, the left side linebacker. It was intended for Glenn Dowdy, the wingback to the right side. Jack Ham, one of many, many great linebackers to come out of Penn State. 6'1", 225. A 7-year veteran from Penn State. And the other guy on the right side is no slouch either. Andy Russell, 6'2", 225. Now in his 13th season out of Missouri. And Tom, he says, after this season, he's going to hang it up.
Well, he's been a great linebacker. I think the greatest compliment you can have in football and pro football are the counterparts that play the game and the coaches that play against you, and they've all said that about Andy Russell.
That'll make it 2nd down and 10 for Baltimore. The ball is up the 40-yard line. Moving offside, or was he drawn off with Mean Joe Green? Penalty markers everywhere. Burt Jones flipped the ball out to the defensive end, White. As Jones took the ball and spit it out to the left side, White batted the ball down with one of his hands, and they may have to inflate it again.
That's a meat hook, you're right. That's a huge hand.
Well, apparently the rap was going to be against the Steelers. Pittsburgh just a little overanxious. Another 5-yard walk-off. 2 penalties, 10 yards against Pittsburgh. The ball is advanced to the 45-yard line. Would become 2nd down and 5 yards to go.
Roger Carr for the Baltimore Colts, Tony, I think is having a tremendous year. As a matter of fact, he's the answer to Swan of the 2 previous Super Bowl teams.
Well, the Steelers have 3 leading pass catchers in the top 19 of the American Football Conference. Rather, the Colts do. The Steelers have none. Hand off to Lydell Mitchell. And the former Penn State star finds it going very rough. Jack Ham was there. Mean Joe Green, White, as a matter of fact, came over from the right side to make the hit. And the guy getting up from the bottom of the pile was the defensive left end L.C. Greenwood. So the yardage is really tough to come by. A pickup of about, it'll be 3rd down and a good 3 yards to go. Roosevelt Leak coming out of the backfield now. And if you look at what's happened early in this football game, Tom, and off the pass record and the statistics, the Baltimore Colts are going to have to throw the ball against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Indeed they are. I think that's why Roosevelt just exited.
All right. With a really is a double wing now. Jones back to throw, looking, has the time, fires, the ball is taken by Mitchell, and he's going to be out of bounds, but he's got the first down. The ball is in Pittsburgh territory at about the 47-yard line. And this is so reminiscent of the early going in our first game of the year, back in September. Matter of fact, the 12th of September, when we did the game between the Oakland Raiders and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, when they hit you, the Pittsburgh Steelers secondary wants you to know that you may catch the pass, but we are right here, and they serve notice right away.
They really do. You know, one of the premier pass protectors for the Baltimore Colts is George Coons, and that's the one thing Burt Jones has had plenty of time to throw so far.
Carr is wide left. Flanked out to the right is Glenn Dowdy. I formation. Deep man in the eye, Mitchell. Here's Jones taking the handoff. Trying to freeze the linebacker. Going along to Carr. It is intercepted at the 13. Wagner's got it at the 50. At the 20. Carries the ball like the loaf of bread. Is hit by Roosevelt Leaks and ridden down by Roosevelt Leaks and by Burt Jones.
Well, Burt Jones threw that ball really into the teeth of a free safety defense, and I think the free safety interception was just waiting on the ball. Roger Carr was overrunning the ball, didn't have a chance to come back for it. There's a timeout with a score 6-0 favor of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now this word.
Well, Steelers coach Chuck Noll, before the game today, he, of course, knows how strong the Colts are in offense. Well, he assessed the strength of the Baltimore club.
They rush the passer very well. They pursue very well. They've got good team speed. They're tough, strong. You know, and then you couple that with Baltimore's offense, which is awesome. They're fine. They move the ball. They can throw it. They have the bomb capabilities, the striking power from out. They have the ability to grind it out. You know, do whatever they want. Most people with the striking power like to rely on the striking power and don't really have the 2 things going for them. But they have 2 things going for them very well.
Comments from the veteran coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Chuck Noll. Well, Pittsburgh didn't waste any time scoring as they threw the bomb. Terry Bradshaw letting it go. Colts moved a little bit, mostly on penalties, but they finally lost it on the interception.
Well, don't forget now that Lazy Boy Chair comes...
Wagner gives Pittsburgh the ball. First down and 10 at the 23-yard line. Rocky Blair is not in the backfield. Franco Harris now is complimented in the backfield by Frenchie Fuquay. Here's Bradshaw. Got the team lined up. Colts ready on defense. Handoff goes to Franco Harris. Finds a little hole over right guard. Chargers past the 25. Gets the ball up to about the 27 to 28-yard line. Stan White is there. Bruce Laird, the safety, comes up to make the hit on the play. A gain of about 6. It'll be second down and 4 to go. That pass interception against Jones was the 10th time he's had one picked off this year. Terry Bradshaw has had 9 passes intercepted this year. Coming out wide to the left now is Johnny Stallworth, 6'2", 183, a 4-year veteran wide receiver from Alabama A&M. Here's Bradshaw on the handoff. Franco Harris breaks one tackle, but flipping from the left side. And coming in to make the hit on the play was Bruce Laird. He was almost knocked down by Darrell Luce. But then Bruce Laird, the free safety, came up and wrapped Franco up and dropped him back at about the 27-yard line. Was a loss of a couple, and now becomes third down and about 6 to go.
What a job Laird did, Tony. Before he ever made that tackle, he absolutely decked in the strangest fashion I've ever seen. It was just, I hit you, you hit the ground, the lead blocker, Reggie Jackson.
Third down, 6 now for the Steelers, who lead it by a score of 6-0. We're in the first quarter. 9:25 to go. Bradshaw back to throw. From the 17, fires up over the middle. The pass is caught. Again, it goes up the 50, down to the 45-yard line. And Frank Lewis, who caught one for 76 yards and a touchdown, has just given the Pittsburgh Steelers a first down with a 28-yard pass completion. Incidentally, Lewis had, coming into this game, the longest pass reception, 64 yards, and that's going to give him a total of 19 catches right now. He's called a timeout for a moment, but hold it. They're going to put the football in play. Lewis now with 2 catches for long yards. Matter of fact, 104 yards. First down and 10 at the Baltimore 46-yard line. The handoff to Franco Harris, circling wide to the left, can't outrun everybody, and finally falls down at about the 45-yard line. Jackie Wallace came up and covered on the play. Linebacker Stan White was also there. So the Steelers offense, 2 long pass plays. Both to Frank Lewis, 6'1", 196, a 7-year veteran from Grambling, who comes back into the game, replacing John Stallworth. It's second down and 10 for Terry Bradshaw and company. Wide receiver Lynn Plum, the former Southern Cal star, out to the right. Out to the left, Lewis. Fuquay. Harris to the backfield. Here's Bradshaw, back to throw at his own 45. Fires up the field and is incomplete. Penalty marker on the play, and let's see the rap is going to be against. Will it be against linebacker Stan White? There's a penalty marker at about the 22-yard line. White was covering Frenchie Fuquay on the play, and the rap is going to be against the Baltimore Colts.
Tony, we've just gotten word. The reason we're seeing Fuqua and sometimes a different back in the backfield with Franco is Rocky Blair has a foot injury. He's now in the locker room to check it out.
Well, Rocky has had a great year. Rocky Blair and Franco Harris, each had gained over 1,000 yards. Blair had 1,036. Harris, 1,128. One of the first Steelers have 2 of the top 4 rushers in the American Football Conference.
One of the things that'll really affect you is Rocky is such a tremendous lead blocker for Franco.
Pass interference penalty. It'll be a first down for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have now reached the Baltimore 31-yard line. It's 6-0. The Steelers out in front. 8 minutes, 3 seconds left to play in the first period. Here's Bradshaw handing off. Harris trying to go to the outside. Cuts it against the Gray. Can't get anywhere except to the 30-yard line. And that's it. As he is stopped by Darrell Luce, the left side linebacker for the Baltimore Colts. Jim Chayansky was also there on the play. And that's going to make it second down and about 9 yards to go. The Steelers try to go wide early in the game time, but Franklin's having difficulty cutting the corner.
Well, he's going to have to be the workhorse this afternoon if indeed they're going to stay on the ground.
They come out in the I formation. Juan right, Lewis left. Front man in the I, Frank O'Hara. Bradshaw flipping the ball to Fuquay, 35, 30. Hit as he gets down to about the 25-yard line. As Bruce Merritt makes the stop on the play. It won't be enough yardage for the first down. They pick up a couple on the play. And now the Pittsburgh Steelers are faced with third down. Third down and about 6 yards to go for the first down. And Johnny Starwood comes in to replace the tight end on the play, Larry Brown. Larry Brown is 6'4", 229, a 7-year veteran out of Kansas. Not related to the Larry Brown of the Washington Redskins. The ball is spotted at the 27-yard line. Mike Webster out over the football for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Starwood wide left, Swan to the right. We've got Lewis in his slot to the right side. The Colts almost offside. Here we go. Penalty mark is going to be against Fuquay, who moved as the ball was snapped. The pass upfield instead of his clawed off his hand at about the 3-yard line. The penalty marker will be against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hey, while they talk it over, we're going to pause briefly for a station identification. This is Mutual, the News and Sports Radio Network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
It's an illegal motion penalty against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The coach almost made a move offside. The Steelers then had Fuquay shift up toward the line of scrimmage, and just as he did so, the ball was snapped back to Terry Bradshaw. And now the field goal team comes on. And it's going to be Roy Gerardo to try for a field goal. The kick will come from somewhere around the 35, which means it'll be a 45-yard kick. And from that vicinity, Gerardo has made 7 in this score. He's made 7 out of 11.
I think, Tony, one of the things that made Fuquay yip, so to speak, was the changing and the stunning of the Baltimore Colts defense. They tried to disguise a blitz that they were going to put on Bradshaw, and eventually they did do it, but that motion penalty did cause them a down.
All right, Gerardo from the 35, it'll be a 45-yard boot. It's a 6-0 ball game. The kick is up in the air. Is it good? It is good. It just spread the crossbar. A 45-yard kick by Gerardo, and now the Steelers are out in front with a score. Pittsburgh 9, Baltimore nothing. There's a timeout on the field. Now this.
A little bit about those games played on Saturday in the NFC playoff game at Bloomington, Minnesota. The Vikings reached the championship game for the third time in 4 years by thrashing the Washington Redskins 35-20. Fran Tarkington put Minnesota ahead on the Vikes' first possession when he hit tight end Stu Volk on an 18-yard touchdown pass, and the Central Division champions never were in trouble again. Meanwhile, at Oakland, in the AFC game, quarterback Ken Stabler scored a touchdown in the final seconds on a 1-yard rollout as the Raiders nipped the New England Patriots 24-21. The victory put the Raiders in the AFC title game for the 4th straight year. Next weekend, of course, Oakland will play the winner of our game on right now between Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Behind 21-10, Oakland scored twice in the 4th period. So, those two teams are enjoying themselves today, evidently, watching this game on TV. I'm sure the NFC champion Vikings also, but awaiting the second game between Dallas and Los Angeles.
Gerardo will kick off for the Steelers. I misread the statistic. He has made now 5 out of 8 from the 40 to the 49-yard line. And for the year now, Gerardo has 15 out of 27 in field goal attempts. He's made 15 of 27. Gerardo with a kick. It's coming down to Stevens at the 10-yard line. We're going to put it up to 15, to 20, to 25. Hit at the 30, and he's going to be driven back, and I mean driven back all the way to the 20-yard line. Starts swinging at a couple of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he doesn't want to pick on some of those guys. It's just a little bit too big for him. Stevens wanted to take on Mark Kellum. Now, Stevens of the Baltimore Colts is 5'5", 165. Mark Kellum is 6'2", 225.
I really feel that the Colts were stunned early with that long bomb that Bradshaw threw, and then, of course, that 50 or almost 50-yard field goal put them ahead 9-0, having missed the point. They really haven't got their bearings yet. I think Bert Jones has yet to go to work.
Well, it's 1st and 10 now for Baltimore. The ball is right around the 30-yard line. Here's the handoff, and they're not going to go anywhere running this afternoon, that at least in the first quarter. Lydell Mitchell got the call, and that's about it. He was hit by Mean Joe Green. White also knifed in from the right side. Jack Lambert, the middle linebacker, had a piece of the action. Now, Lydell Mitchell, one of the top rushers in the National Football League, and certainly one of the top ones in the American Football Conference. But he has had a rough go of it early in this game. Second down, about 9 yards to go for the first down. The ball at the 31-yard line. Handoff again to Lydell Mitchell. Penalty marker on the play. Mitchell twisting, fighting his way up to about the 35-yard line. And there he is hit. And again, it's middle linebacker Jack Lambert making the stop on the play along with the right side linebacker Andy Russell. But the penalty marker on the play, and there's a wrap against the Baltimore Colts, or is it against the Pittsburgh Steelers? And from the looks of it, it's going to be against the Baltimore Colts.
Well, Tony, that steel curtain really has been one so far this afternoon because, you know, Joe Green and Ernie Holmes will kind of offset. They'll creep along just before the snap of the ball and take a shoulder or the head or the gap of the center. And they just seem to get 100% of the time right to be with the flow.
Well, the wrap was against the Baltimore Colts. A motion penalty against Baltimore declined by Pittsburgh. They want the Colts to try to put it up in the air. It's third down and 6 now. Mitchell has carried the ball 4 times for a grand total of 9 yards. He gained 500 yards during the regular season, number 2 rusher in the American Football Conference. So here it is, third down and 6 yards to go. Back to throw is Burt Jones, rolling to the left, looking, firing the ball upfield. The pass is caught by the tight end Raymond Chester. A diving grab for a first down at the Pittsburgh Steelers 44-yard line, and 11-yard pass play. Raymond Chester making the grab, and there just wasn't anything Jim Allen, who was covering on the play, could do about it. Chester is 6'4", 236. Now in his 7th year, played his college ball at Morgan State. So the Colts are in business with a first down. They've got the ball at their own 46-yard line.
That might be Burt Jones' style of play today, to roll out and give himself a little stretch time to throw the ball.
Roger Carr wide left, out to the right is Glenn Dowdy. High formation. Big handoff to leak the ball going to the second man through. That's Lydell Mitchell. He's wrapped up by Andy Russell, but not until he reaches midfield. So a gain on the play of about 2 or 3 yards. It'll be second down and 7 yards to go. The way the Pittsburgh defense is playing, Tom, you're not going to get much yardage if you try to run that ball on first down. You're going to have second and long consistently, second and 7, second and 8.
That's right. They haven't yielded. They really haven't given a thing. They're winning the up front battle as far as movement of lines is concerned.
Second down and 7 to go for Baltimore. The ball at the 49-yard line. Turn around, give Lydell Mitchell running in there, trying to get that ball up to the midfield, get the past midfield, down to about the 48-yard line as forward progress. Then he is shoved back by everybody, and especially linebacker Jack Ham out of Penn State. Jack Ham is a 7-year veteran out of Penn State. Lydell Mitchell, of course, played while Ham was at Penn State. Lydell was a sophomore while Ham was a senior. Lydell now in his 5th year, 6 foot, 195 pounds.
And again, Roosevelt Leaks walks off, Tony, at third and about 4, and I suppose that Burt Jones probably got a little better receiver in there with Glenn Dowdy and Carr, Raymond Chester, and McCauley.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if the Steelers switch here, if Jones rolls straight back or rolls out to the left or right. Great drop back, looking, fires up over the middle, again to Raymond Chester. He's got the first down yardage. He's driven back by Jack Ham, back to the 47-yard line, but he won't get his forward progress down to the Pittsburgh Steelers 41-yard line, and Baltimore comes up with another first down. That's 2 key catches by the tight end Raymond Chester coming back over the middle to make the grab.
And it really had to be an accurate throw because the coverage the Steelers were in at that time was man underneath, all the linebackers and the 2 corner people, man-to-man, and the 2 deep safeties kind of backing them up.
So the Colts this afternoon are perfect on third down conversion. 3 for 3. Dowdy out to the right. Carr standing wide left. High formation. Jones takes the handoff. Looking. Going to run the ball to the right side. Flips the ball to Lydell Mitchell. At the 35. At the 30. At the 45. Out of 6. Down to the 20-yard line. First down to Lydell Mitchell, who was wide open as the Steeler defenders, the linebackers, and the deep secondary dropped very deep on the play. Mitchell came out of the backfield wide open, took that slip from Burt Jones, who rolled to the right side, found him wide open, almost got confused with an official, though, however.
You know, L.C. Greenwood was in hot pursuit, Tony, but that's the thing that Burt Jones can do. He adds that dimension. Anytime he stretches to play out, and that great coverage of the Steelers in the secondary kind of collapses a little bit. It does with any team.
First down and 10. The ball at the 20-yard line. Pittsburgh out in front of Baltimore 9-0 win the first quarter. 2:05 to go. Handoff. Roosevelt leaks, and he drives straight ahead over the left side, over the left tackle, and he's finally down the play. L.C. Greenwood was there. Andy Russell, the right side linebacker. Rydell Mitchell never moved after the ball was snapped. He just stood there. He was the deep man in the I formation. And Roosevelt leaks us at all kinds of rushing records in the Southwest Conference. 5'11", 225, a two-year man from the University of Texas. Played for Darrell Royal. Gets about 3 yards on the play. So again, Baltimore is faced with second down and 7 yards to go. They've got the ball at the Pittsburgh 17-yard line. This time it's Roger Cartwright, and Glenn Dowdy goes wide to the left. Raymond Chester, the tight end, is on the left side. Jones back to throw. He's been intercepted once. Long pass to Carr. Touchdown! Roger Carr with a grab. Burt Jones got knocked right on the seat of his pants by Ernie Holmes, who looked around. But a diving catch by Roger Carr with a touchdown for the Baltimore Colts. Tony Roger made a tremendous move on J.T. Thomas. He started in like he was going to run the post. Gave him a little head fake, planted his inside left foot, cut hard to the flag, and that ball was right on the money. Again, Burt Jones doing a super job, and that's the thing that they had to do, because if you fall behind more than 10 points, morale and everything else begins to go. So the Colts are back in it, and they're lining up to try to get that 7 point. Touchdown pass number 25 to Burt Jones, and for Roger Carr, his 12th touchdown pass of the year. Linhart for the PAT, kick is up there, and it is good. So, it's now a 9-7 game. As the Baltimore Colts fly 69 yards at 8 plays, and the pitcher was a pass from Burt Jones to Roger Carr. And the Colts are now on the board. By the way, if you look at the number of touchdowns given up, that's only the 15th touchdown given up here by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and only the third in the last 10 games in fully 51. And that is only the 10th touchdown passing given up by the Steelers this season.
Tony, I believe, it's awful early in the game. A lot of things can happen, and a lot of things will happen today, but I really believe that missed extra point looms as a very big point right now, because it's not a 3-point field goal differential. It's just 2 points. I guess the report on Rocky Bleier is that he strained his toe, and there's a possibility that he may return yet today.
On a 69-yard drive. As the Colts set at their own 31-yard line with 69 yards of field, and those key turn-down conversions. Those will be the Pittsburgh Steelers' undoing.
Only a minute, 17 seconds left in the first quarter, and we've seen an awful lot of excitement today. An awful lot so far. 9-7 doesn't even measure the excitement that one quarter has brought.
First quarter action. We've got a minute 17 left to go. In that drive, Burt Jones was 4 for 4. So the young man from LSU really put it on the money. Tony Linhart will pick it up. He's 5'11", 179-pounder. 4th year in pro ball. Played in college ball at Austria, Texas. The run-up and the kick. It's coming down near side. At the 10. It's Theo Bell at the 15. At the 20. At the 25. To the outside at the 30. The 35. The 40. 45. 50. 45. 40. And finally hustles out of bounds. Somewhere around the Baltimore 32-yard line. Theo Bell got to the outside, and he was off to the races for a moment. Finally hustled out of bounds at the Baltimore 32, a 61-yard return.
Tony Linhart, number 2, was in hot pursuit. I don't know if he could have brought him down or not. He really did get outrun, and it was a saving tackle, a touchdown saving tackle on Theo Bell with great speed to the outside he has when he wanted to turn it on.
First down and 10 for Pittsburgh at the Baltimore 32. Glasgow off to Harris. Harris off right tackle, 30, 45, 20-yard line. Finally dropped at the 20-yard line. The tackle made by free safety Jackie Wallace.
Well, it seemed like Franco just sprung through the line. He was there at exactly the moment the blocks were set by the offensive right guard and tackle on the goal for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And as soon as they were into their blocks, Franco was hurdling the line, and then when he gets in that secondary, he's a tough load to bring down.
It's 9-7. Pittsburgh out in front. But a 61-yard return has given the Steelers great field position. They are now at the Baltimore 20. The handoff again. Harris can't go left. Comes back over the middle. Finds a hole. The Luther tackler gets inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. And he is wrapped up there by Big John Dutton, the defensive right end from the University of Nebraska. Was an All-America there. Freddie Cook, Mike Barnes, Joe Ehrman, John Dutton, the front four. They're called the Sack Pack. That's the end of the first quarter with a score. The Pittsburgh Steelers 9, the Baltimore Colts 7.
Taking a look at the game that will be coming up in about an hour and a half, the Dallas Cowboys embarrassed the Los Angeles Rams at the Coliseum in the National Football Conference title game last December to become the first wildcard team ever to advance into the Super Bowl. Now it's the Rams' turn. Los Angeles plays Dallas, like we said, later on, the first-round playoff game. But this time it's the Cowboys who are favored and have the home field advantage. Dallas disregarded the same two psychological advantages last year in dumping L.A. 37-7 for the right to play AFC champion Pittsburgh. The Rams with James Harris at quarterback. Well, actually, they say that Pat Hayden will start, but it could be James Harris. Well, he went most of the way, Harris did, after an injury to Hayden. They carry a 10-3-1 record into the game, but the feeling in the organization is that the club has yet to reach its peak this year. The defensive tackle, Merlin Olsen, we haven't played up to our expectations. We've had our slumps and lapses, and we made our share of mistakes.
It's the end of the first quarter where the Colts have just gotten on the board with 7 points, trailing 9-7. The Pittsburgh Steelers, and Tony, I think we're seeing an outstanding football game here today. Probably one of the most underrated offensive players. John Kolb, Jim Clack, Ray Mansfield, Jerry Mullins, and Gordon Gravel, the interior line of that offensive machine of Pittsburgh Steelers.
Let's look at the first half, first quarter stats. Colts 5 first downs, Pittsburgh had 4. Baltimore 20 yards rushing, Pittsburgh 24. Passing yards, Baltimore 61, Pittsburgh 106. Total yards, Steelers 130, Baltimore 81. Burt Jones 5 of 7. Terry Bradshaw 3 out of 4. Colts turned it over once on an intercepted pass. Third down conversions, Baltimore 3 for 3, and Pittsburgh 2 for 3. Right now, it's second down, 5 to go. Here's Bradshaw, handoff, Blair playing straight ahead inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line. Lucky Blair, head down, knees turning, knockdown, make that Franco Harris rather, and he's finally stopped on the play by Jim Samsky. Franco Harris really had a load on that time, got a good start, and he was really off to the races and in a hurry. Harris 6'2", 225, a 6-year veteran from Penn State, where he was an All-American. Teamed, of course, with Lydell Mitchell, and what a dynamic duo that was.
And Ben Cunningham, the rookie tight end, has just come into the game, Tony. They're down in there, so they probably want greater blocking service with G and Larry Brown, the other original tight end.
It's first down and goal to go. Pittsburgh at the Baltimore 7-yard line. Handoff, right side, Fuquay, trips up at a 5-yard line. Falls forward to the 4-yard line. Again, it's Jim Samsky who makes the hit on the play. So a gain of a couple. It'll be second down, goal to go. The ball just inside the 4. Let's call it the 3-yard line of the Baltimore Colts, who trail here by a score of 9-7.
It could be our vantage point, Tony, but it really seems to me that the Steelers are playing with a degree of intensity that, or even emotion, if you want to call it that I haven't seen in some of their other games, even though they've played well.
Double tight end. Randy Gorsman is in. Larry Brown is in. Benny Cunningham's in. Triple tight end. Franco Harris very close to a touchdown. He bangs off the left side and gets the ball down to about the goal line. Finally stopped just short of the goal line, and a big play is coming up. And the man who made the touchdown-saving tackle was white quarterback Ray Oldham. So now it is third down and goal to go. The ball about at the half-yard line. The Pittsburgh Steelers leading it by a score of 9-7. Come out of the huddle again. The triple tight end. Two plays in the backfield. There's a turnaround to give to Reggie Harrison. He's got the touchdown off right tackle. Reggie Harrison, 5'11", 220, a 4-year veteran from Cincinnati, bangs off the right side and scores.
Well, the Baltimore Colts have been tapped pretty quickly, once by the arm and a couple times One time by the arm, one time by the leg, and now on the ground, Reggie Harrison climaxing that drive. The Colts have to come back, and as you say, Tony, Burt Jones got to put it in the air. They can't run on him today so far.
Roy Girano will try for the PAT. Bobby Walden will hold. The ball to be spotted down at the 10-yard line. It's now a 15-7 game. Pittsburgh in front. High snap. Kick is up, and it is. Come on, Felix. Good. There it is. That'll make it 16-7. With a score, Pittsburgh 16, Baltimore 7. A timeout on the field. Now this.
Taking some statistics during the year in the AFC, of course, O.J. had the most yardage, 1,503. Lyle Mitchell had an even 1,200, averaging over 4 yards a carry. His longest was some 43, and he scored 5 touchdowns on the ground. Franco Harris of Pittsburgh was third. He picked up 1,128, averaging 4 yards a carry. His longest was 30 yards, and he had 13 touchdowns. Dwyer of Pittsburgh at 1,036 yards on the ground. He averaged almost 5 yards per carry. Longest gainer was 28, and he scored 5 times via the ground. So we've got 2 or 3 explosive runners in there, but right now Pittsburgh has gotten off to that good lead of 16-7, and with that defense, number one in the National Football League, playing catch-up ball is pretty rough, or it's going to be pretty rough for the Baltimore Colts. Pittsburgh allowed only 3,323 yards in 14 games. Cincinnati some 300 behind.
Well, the Steelers just went up ahead 17-6 over the Colts, but, you know, the Colts scored an odd touchdown, an odd statistic. Burt Jones threw the car, putting them 7 points into the game, was the first touchdown pass against Pittsburgh in the first quarter in this entire 1976 NFL schedule. That's an amazing statistic. That's in the first quarter.
There's a run-up by Girona. The kick bounces around, taking it at the 25, at the 30-yard line, at the 35, at the 40-yard line. It's Quantity at the 45, at the 50. And he is finally hauled down right around the, somewhere around the midfield stripe. Let's see where they pull him down. He was thrown down at about the 47-yard line. Johnny Shell made the tackle. One of those Monday night games here, we saw him scamper about 69 yards per score, and Ronnie Lee can really go. He's 6'4", 222 pounds, number 3 draft choice out of West Virginia. So the Colts down again by 9, 16-7. They failed at one time, 9-0. Lydell Mitchell looking for an opening, runs it to me, Joe Breeze, gets past the 50 down to about the 47-yard line. A gain on the play of about 5, and that's about the best they have done on a first down, running against the Pittsburgh Steelers so far in the early going.
And Lydell had to hunt and peck to find that opening because Mean Joe Green, along with the other front foursome, they just absolutely hit on the snap of the ball, shed the tackler, and glide, literally flow to the ball.
Second down, let's go on at 4 yards to go. I formation, Leaks front man in the eye. Handoff goes to Mitchell. Over the right side, he runs right into the linebackers, Jack Lambert, and also Jack Ham. And he is hit right around the 45-yard line. It'll be third down and short yardage to go for the first down. Roger Carr comes out. Lydell Mitchell is out. And we'll use the power back now as John McCauley is in the backfield. McCauley 6'1", 215, a 6-year veteran out of North Carolina. He set all kinds of career rushing records there. You'll see him with Roosevelt Leaks. They're very good short yardage situations. Dowdy is flanked to the right. Actually, he's a wingman on the right side. Double tight end. Turn around, give to McCauley. McCauley driving ahead. Did he get the first down? He tried to pull a Chuck Foreman, leaping as he got to the line of scrimmage, surging ahead to get the first down. And we will have our first important measurement of the afternoon. 11 minutes and 34 seconds left to play in the first half. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have had the ball 3 possessions, and they have scored on all 3.
The fans obviously unhappy with the fact that the Colts punting team is coming onto the field. They want them to go for it, but, a wise head prevails. Marcia Broder's been around the game a long time. This isn't the time to gamble. This is the time to kick the ball, try to get it out of bounds, pin him down there, and wait for a mistake. You have to play that kind of percentage football.
David Lee, back to boot, 6'5", 224 pounds, 11-year veteran from Louisiana Tech. This is the first punt of the game. Lee standing at the 42-yard line of Baltimore, waiting for the snap. Theo Bell, the single safety for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Long count. Here comes the snap. It's shoulder high. Gets the kickoff. Angles it towards the near side. It'll hit at the 10, at the 9-yard line, and goes out of bounds. They'll spot the ball out of bounds right around the 9-yard line. So, the Pittsburgh Steelers, after a 34-yard kick by David Lee, will put the ball in play. First down and 10 at their own 9-yard line. Again, we want to mention, they've had the ball 3 times. They had a 76-yard pass play, Bradshaw to Lewis, a 45-yard field goal by Girella, and then on the third possession, Harrison went in from a yard out.
So that makes the score 16-7, favor of Pittsburgh, and we're just a tiny ways, 11:02 left in the second quarter.
Out to the right side is Lynn Swan. Wide to the left, we've got Frank Lewis. He's been the big play man today. Bradshaw turns around, gives to Harris, circling wide to the left. The penalty marker on the play. Runs into a gang of Baltimore folks. First man to get his hands on Franco Harris was Stan White, the right side linebacker, who came in. The tackle was made by Jim Chayunsky, the middle linebacker. A penalty marker, as I said, and who's the rap going to be against? It's going to be a motion penalty against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, that's the kind of thing you hope to do when you punt it out of bounds, is pin him down there, make him make a mistake. In this case, it's a small one, but nevertheless, it pins him back further towards their own goal post. One of the things about Franco, Tony, he runs that weak side fullback play about as well as anybody I've ever seen, but he does, if he has any kind of a tendency, he does love to get it outside. But the Colts are doing a good job with their corner people. Number 25 for the Colts has just turned him in, which is Ray Oldham. He's done a marvelous job, and that's what you want to do. You want to break his momentum, force him to cut back.
Wide to the right is Lynn Swan. Flanked out to the left is Frank Lewis. The backfield, Duquay and Harris. Back to throw. Bradshaw at the goal line. Fires up down to the sideline. Intended for Lewis. Did he get the ball? He did not. Ray Oldham doubling on the play. The ball popped out of Lewis's hands. Incomplete. At about the 47-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Bradshaw trying to get the big play again from Frank Lewis, who has 2 lone catches, one of 76 yards, the other of 28.
Well, I've got to be impressed with Ray Oldham. I've seen him come up and support as an outside corner. Right there, he was in a foot race. Actually, he wasn't beat, but he had overrun it, and Lewis came back for the ball, and only a second effort on Oldham's part where he knocked the ball out of his hands, kept it from being a long completion.
The ball at the 10-yard line. It's third down and 9 yards to go for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Franco Harris is carried 9 times, a total of 38 yards. Split backfield. Stallworth is out to the left, out to the right. Swan, back to throw. Looking Bradshaw up over the middle. Swan's got it, and he is struck down. He drives forward. Did he get the first down? Try to put that ball past the 20-yard line and get the first down. Let's see where they spot it. It is a first down for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, Chayunsky hit him dead to rights. He never really moved except the length of his body fell forward, and he extended that arm, and that just eked out a first down, much to the moaning of the Baltimore fans here. They got out of the hole, and that gives them that new life first down.
Very smart play by Lynn Swan. That'll make it first down and 10 now for Pittsburgh at their own 20-yard line. Split backs again. Franco, Harris, Quincy Fuquay. The turnaround to give to Franco. Cuts back over the middle. Can't find much running room. Gets up to about the 20-yard line. The line of scrimmage, and that's it. He ran into a lot of blue shirts there. Freddie Cook was there for one. Joe Herman, the defensive right tackle, also pinching on the play. So Franco Harris had no place to go. Jerry Mullins could not clear the hole. The offensive right tackle of the Pittsburgh Steelers. No gain on the play. They could second down and 10 yards to go. The ball at the 20-yard line. Right now it's Pittsburgh 16, Baltimore 7. 9 minutes, 35 seconds left to play in the first half. And the Steelers have dominated play, with the exception of one Baltimore Colts drive. Here's the handoff again. Harris wide to the left. Outrunning the tackle, but he can't outrun the linebacker. Hit at the 25-yard line and dropped right there. Getting a piece of him was the defensive end, Johnny Dutton, and wrapping him up was the little middle linebacker, Jim Chayunsky, who's been all over the place. It'll be third down now for Pittsburgh and 5 yards to go. Frank Lewis is back in the ball game.
The Colts here, I think, really will go into their defense, zone defense. The 5 underneath linebackers, that's 2 corner men, 3 linebackers, and a twin safety deep.
Pittsburgh is 3 out of 4 on third down conversions. Bradshaw dropping back, looking, fires the ball out in the flat. Harris at the 25, at the 30-yard line, and it looks like he's got the first down. Franco Harris fighting his way up to the 30-yard line. Again, it's Chayunsky who makes the stop on the play with some help from right side linebacker Stan White. But it's another first down for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they've been getting it by just about the length of the football. You know, they started at the 9, got it up to the 20, from the 20 now to the 30, and it's first and 10.
You know, Tony, it's really a good call on the part of Bradshaw because he anticipated the zone defense, the 5 underneath coverage with the 2 safeties, so he flares Franco. You get a big guy like that, the ball on a flare maneuver, let him run towards the line of scrimmage. Chayunsky's good and tough, but he couldn't stop it for the first down.
Stallworth wide left. Lynch one out to the right. Handoff going to Fuquay. Fuquay tries right tackle and manages to get the ball up to about the 32 or 33-yard line. And again, that familiar name, Jim Chayunsky, makes the stop on the play. So a gain of a couple. It'll be second down and 8. And right now we're going to pause briefly for station identification. This is Mutual, your news and sports radio network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
What's that about Bruce Laird?
The inside safety position of screaming up and making a help play off from the line of scrimmage.
Bradshaw's 5 out of 7 this afternoon, 121 yards, back to throw from his own 24. Pass is caught by Lynn Swan at a 47-yard line of Pittsburgh, and it's another first down for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Covering on the play was Lloyd Mumford, but not in time. A 14-yard strike from Bradshaw to Lynn Swan. Swan coming to the near sideline, turning in, getting right down on his knees, and took that strike numeral high, and it's a first down, and the Steelers have now moved from their 9 up to their 47-yard line. Here we go with first and 10 now. Pittsburgh in possession. Bradshaw, handoff. Fritzy Fuchs. No, it's Franco Harris. 45, 40, 35, 30, 45, 20. Hit by Jackie Wallace. That's a 15 to 10 to 5 around the 4-yard line. Bradley hauled down by Ray Oldham at the 4-yard line. Franco Harris. A 50-yard dash.
And Ray Oldham, Tony, came all the way from the right corner spot, diagonal across the field. He actually had a step on Franco. Franco cut back. Oldham got blocked momentarily, recovered, and saved, or at least on that play, saved the touchdown. Of course, if they don't take it in, then he saved one for the game's sake.
Franco Harris was hit right around the line of scrimmage by Darrell Lewis to try to grab him around the shoulders, but Franco just twisted away. Here's the handoff. It goes to Harrison, and Harrison fights down to about the 4-yard line, the line of scrimmage, and that's about it.
Well, the Colts really need a shot in the arm here, and it could very well be that it might be a goal line stand because they've been playing, I think, with a little lackluster. I do believe that the Pittsburgh thrust on offense has taken them by surprise because they haven't really shown it, especially with Rocky Bleier sitting on the sideline. A goal line stand could ignite them. By the same token, a score could hurt them.
Second down, goal to go. The ball at the 3-yard line. Dan Dickel, who made the tackle, comes out for the Baltimore Colts. The line is set. The handoff. Harrison off left tackle. And the ball is fumbled. Who's got the ball? The Baltimore Colts recover. Now, I think bigger than ever, that play by Ray Oldham has got to really be an outstanding play. Dan White made the recovery of the fumble, but Ray Oldham stopped Frankel from scoring to allow such a recovery. Well, Dan White seems to be around the ball. That's an awful lot of recoveries during the course of the year for a young man playing outstanding linebacker. That's the 32nd time the Baltimore Colts have forced a fumble by the opposition this year. Don't forget we've got action like this next Sunday, the AFC Championship game on Mutual. You know, coaches are always saying that, you get blocked, get up, run down the field. You may make the tackle that saves the game. And I've got to just really give credit and put that aside because number 25 for the Baltimore Colts, the right cornerback Ray Oldham, has just done a superb job in every phase of the game. But that touchdown save on Franco Harris, to repeat, set up the stage for a goal line stand. We were talking about igniting your football team. Stan White comes up with a big fumble recovery. And now, even though their backs are against the wall, the Colts have got to come fighting out of there to get back in the game. Well, I think the one play that really hurt the Baltimore Colts, after they scored, Theo Bell ran his kickoff back 61 yards to the Baltimore 32. That put the Steelers really right back in business, and they went in from there and got a 1-yard run from Harrison for a touchdown to put them out in front by a score of 16-7. But if the Colts, the special teams, get the job done and send the Steelers back, it might be a little closer ball game than the 9-point split we have on the board here now, with 5:14 left to play at Pittsburgh 16 and Baltimore 7. The Steelers went a total of 89 yards in that drive, 11 plays before the fumble and the recovery by Stan White.
Well, I know they don't want to jeopardize Burt Jones, and you really don't want to roll him out when he's that close to his own goal line, but that seems to be the one thing that startles Steelers when they do roll him out.
They take it over at the 2-yard line. Burt Jones, the quarterback, waiting for the snap from his center, turns around, gives that ball to Lydell Mitchell at the 5, at the 10-yard line. Lydell Mitchell finding a hole over the right side, finally tripped up by linebacker Andy Russell, and also by Mike Wagner, the safety. Gets the ball up to about the 11-yard line. A pickup on the play of, very close to 9 yards, and that's the best first down play that the Colts have had so far in this game.
We lay credit on Robert Pratt, the left guard, Ken Mendenhall, the center, and the right guard, Elmer Collette. They really fired out of the block.
Second down, about a yard to go. 4:40 showing on the clock, 16-7 Pittsburgh. Baltimore at its own 11-yard line. Jones turns around, gives it to Lydell. Lydell squirming through, and he's going to be very close to a first down. The steel curtain giving just a little bit, and perhaps enough, and there it is, enough for the first down for the Baltimore Colts, who now have a little breathing room out to the 14-yard line.
Well, Burt can play around with the ball a little bit here, or not really play around with it, but he can roll out now because he's got rollout room, or he can run action fake. I think he'd like to grind out another first down on the ground if he can, because you sure as heck don't want to play with the ball when one of the best defenses in pro football perhaps ever is facing him.
Roger Carr comes wide left. Glenn Dowdy is out to the right. Roosevelt leaks and Lydell Mitchell in the backfield. Jones back to throw from his 4, looking, firing down the right sideline. Intended for Dowdy, it is too long. Pass intended for Glenn Dowdy was too long. That'll stop the clock, however, with 3:49 showing, and that'll make it second down and 10 yards to go. The ball is at the Baltimore 14-yard line. A reminder that Lindsey Nelson and Pat Sheridan are standing by at Texas Stadium down in Dallas, Texas. And following this game here at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore this afternoon, we'll go to Texas Stadium, and Lindsey and Pat will talk about the game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams, the NFC Divisional playoff game. Again, it's Carr wide left and Dowdy out to the right. Jones waiting for the snap from Kenny Mendenhall. Gets the ball on a handoff, gives it to Lydell Mitchell, and that play doesn't fool anybody. It gets back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Mean Joe Green is the man to make the hit on the play. So now the Colts are faced with third down and 10 yards to go at the 14-yard line.
And, of course, Roosevelt Leaks comes out for the Colts. They probably go in with another receiver. or McCauley. One of the things that's a real matchup, there are matchups all across the field, but one of the ones that I'm watching and with a lot of interest is Roger Carr, a tremendous sprinter, wide receiver for the Colts, matched up against Mel Blount, probably one of the best ones, cornerbacks in the NFL today.
Well, the Colts have flip-flopped their wide receivers. Carr goes wide, and Dowdy is off to the left against Blount. Here's Burt Jones getting the snap for the penalty, apparently, because maybe it was a delay of game penalty, and that's what it's going to be. The Baltimore Colts did not get the playoff in time. The Colts did not get the playoff in time, and so that'll cost him 5.
Well, I wonder sometimes Burt Jones probably came up, tried to read the defense. It looked to me like he had a pass called and probably wanted to put on a route based upon their defensive look. And they disguise it sometimes, and I think he stalled a little.
Well, they just gave him a 10-yard penalty. Instead of walking it off from the 14, they walked it off from the 9. The ball has got to be put down at the 9-yard line, where it will be third down. There it is.
A fella could get shot for a thing like that here in Baltimore.
You know, they lost about a foot or so on that penalty, too. What would have auto spotted? So the ball's going to be right around the 8-yard line. It'll be third down and 15 yards to go. Dowdy is wide left, and Carr goes out to the right. John McCauley now teamed in the backfield with Lydell Mitchell. So Burt Jones with third down and 15. At his own 9-yard line. Back to throw. Looking. Gonna have to run it. The lose one tackler. Can't get away from Mean Joe Green, who wrapped him up. White was also there to make the stop on the play.
Well, they went to the single free safety coverage where they're running with men, but the pressure of Mean Joe Green and Dwight White was just too much for Burt Jones.
Well, they're going to have to punt now. That means David Lee comes in to boot. And the steel curtain, that defense of Pittsburgh, has just been too much for the high-powered offense of the Baltimore Colts to handle. Here's the snap, and he gets the boot away. David Lee kicks it upfield. Lynn Swan will take it at the 45-yard line. Up to the middle of the field, comes back again at the 40. Penalty marker on the play, another penalty marker on the play. Flags everywhere. Well, the feeling runs high here, a 43-yard boot. With the score, the Pittsburgh Steelers 16 and the Baltimore Colts 7. There's a timeout on the field. Now this.
The Tangerine Bowl game on Saturday night in Orlando, Florida. Junior running back Terry Miller scrambled for 4 touchdowns on 173 yards to lead 14th-ranked Oklahoma State to a 49-21 rout of number 17 Brigham Young. Miller, a second-team All-America selection who finished 4th in this year's Heisman Trophy voting, scored on runs of 3, 78, 6, and 1 yard, while the Cowboy defense produced 4 interceptions and 1 fumble recovery. There were some bright notes for Brigham Young. Dave Lowry took the opening second-half kickoff and returned it for 102 yards for a touchdown, and Gifford Nielsen completed 23 of 34 passes for 209 yards and 1 touchdown. So in the Tangerine Bowl, it was Brigham Young losing to Oklahoma State in a big rout, 49-21.
Ball long pass upfield, almost intercepted. There's a penalty marker down at the 48-yard line as Bradshaw on 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Put the ball up down the right sideline and did it for Lynn Swan. The pass is almost picked off. It was almost grabbed by Jackie Wallace. Got a hand on it. 2 hands, as a matter of fact, couldn't hold it. The rap is going to be against 2. It's going to be a personal foul called against the Baltimore Colts.
An error warning, and I see an argument with Lloyd Mumford, one of the officials, and Lloyd Mumford was trying to hold up Lynn Swan and then turn him over, funnel him inside to the free safety Jackie Wallace. And he doesn't feel it was justified. He thought he got a legitimate chuck on him, that is a hit which holds him up and then funneling him one way. But apparently they chose to read it as a personal foul, and that's a very costly penalty.
And it brings the ball down to the Baltimore 39-yard line. And it also gives the Steelers a first down. And the thing the Colts don't want is any kind of score by the Pittsburgh Steelers here to end the first half. We have 2:31 left to play in the first half. And right now it's a 16-7 game with the Steelers out in front as they have dominated play offensively and defensively this entire first half. Smallwood out to the left, Swan over to the right. The handoff goes to the running back, and he goes over right tackle, gets the ball down to about the 35-yard line. Prentice Fuquay on the carry to the right side. And Prentice is hit by Fred Cook, but not before he picks up about 3 yards on the play. That'll make it 2nd down and 7.
Well, obviously, the Pittsburgh Steelers line has won the game. Offensive line has won the game so far because they have managed to cause the distortion in the bubble. And they are winning the game there because there's movement. Well, there's timeout with the score. The Pittsburgh Steelers 16, Baltimore 7. Now this word.
All right, checking other sports now. University of Miami has discussed a 5-year, $375,000 contract with Brigham Young's football coach, Lavelle Edwards, as an effort to lure him away from the Mormon school. This is reported in the Orlando newspaper when they were there in Orlando, Florida, for the game we talked about a while ago, the Tangerine Bowl. Edwards confirmed meeting with officials, but declined to discuss details and told the newspaper he had reached no decision. Edwards, 46, who led the Cougars to their best ever season with a 9-2 record, said, "We'll touch base next week by telephone and possibly meet in Miami for a more formal discussion." He noted he is a very devout Mormon. Leaving Brigham Young would be a tough decision. Edwards became head coach at BYU in 1972 and has compiled a 34-21-1 record at the school.
The best in the college bowl schedule is all ahead on Mutual. Tomorrow night it's the Liberty Bowl from Memphis. Monday night the 27th finds Mutual at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. The Bluebonnet Bowl opens up the New Year's celebration in Houston on New Year's Eve. New Year's Day it's the Orange Bowl and Sugar Bowls. And Mutual winds up its college football with the Senior Bowl from Mobile, Alabama on January the 8th.
Terry Bradshaw, 6 out of 8 this afternoon, 135 yards. Franco Harris, 12 carries, 93 yards, one on a 50-yard burst. So now it's 2nd down and 7. Bradshaw on a handoff to Fuquay off the left side. 35, 30, inside the 30 down to about the 27-yard line of the Baltimore Colts. Prentice Fuquay on a shot off the left side, very close to first down yardage. Will we have a measurement? I believe we will. The officials want to take a look. 1 minute and 44 seconds left to play. Well, there's no doubt, Tom, that the Pittsburgh defense has set it all up for the Pittsburgh offense.
Well, they really have. As a matter of fact, the field position has, been uncanny because their defense all year long has caused turnovers. They've shut people off. They've forced punts to be shabby and short and then got good returns with a special team. And the defense can win a lot of football games for you. They claim if you shut out your opponent, you can never do any less than tie. But the offense right now is surprising to me and probably is to the Colts because they're moving the ball against the Colts.
And for those who might have a tie or an overtime in mind, you play till somebody wins in the playoffs. Unlike the regular season where you have only one overtime period. Here's the handoff, and Franco Harris gets back to the 30-yard line and no further. He is in and wrapped up by Freddie Cook, 6'4", 246, a 3-year man, a defensive end from southern Mississippi. And Freddie Cook hit Harris just as soon as he got the ball, and Franco loses about a yard on the play. So let's make it the 30-yard line. 2nd down and 11 for Pittsburgh.
One of the strategy problems here is what defense to call because Bradshaw can run action or he can roll out or pocket, and they need more men to risk factor and stop the run.
Lewis wide left, Swan out to the right. Swan in and out pattern. Swan wide open. Touchdown! Boy, he put a move on one. Lloyd Mumford, and Lloyd Mumford just got faked out of Memorial Stadium. He put an inside move on him, turned to the outside. Bradshaw put the ball up in the air, and all Swan had to do was say, "Here I am, baby. Let me caress you."
Tony, that's exactly what I was saying about the strategy part of the defensive call. If you call a defense to help support the run, then you force your secondary into single coverage, and that's high risk. Lloyd Mumford was covering him one-on-one. What are you going to do when a guy comes down and gives you all the fancy moves and then fell down because of a turn in direction?
53 seconds left. It's now 22-7. Durello will try for the PAT, and now we've got a momentary timeout call. There's a penalty marker down. So Bradshaw has thrown his second touchdown pass this afternoon. The first one was a 50, make that a 76-yarder to Frank Lewis. The Pittsburgh Steelers went a total of 54 yards in that march. 4 plays. Illegal procedure called here against the Steelers. That'll be a 5-yard walk-off. And the pass to Swan covers 30 yards. Durello for the PAT. Walden will hold. It's spotted down now. It'll be put down at the 10-yard line. Here comes the snap, down, kick up, and it looks like it is. And it is good. So, with timeout, the score. The Pittsburgh Steelers 22, the Baltimore Colts 7. Now this.
In college basketball on Saturday, 3 of college basketball's top 10 were upset. Number 2 Marquette, playing its first game since Coach Al McGuire announced his resignation at the end of the season, was dumped by Louisville in overtime, 78-75. Meanwhile, third-ranked Kentucky, without 2 starters suspended for missing bed checks, fell 70-68 to Utah in the finals of the Wildcats Invitational. And number 7 Arizona bowed to Detroit University, 70-68. Other top college contests on Saturday, top-ranked Michigan buried Kent State, 102-66. Number 5 San Francisco beat Florida State, 93-87 to win the Cable Car Classic. 9th-ranked Cincinnati smothered St. Louis University, 86-53. Number 10 UCLA thrashed Tulsa, 110-85. 11th-ranked Nevada, Las Vegas smashed Idaho, 135-87. 13th-ranked Maryland nipped Appalachian State, 76-74. And number 14 Clemson whipped Stetson, 78-64.
With the score of 23-7 in favor of Pittsburgh, Tony, it looks like the momentum, the power, the tenacity, the intensity of the Pittsburgh Steelers has paid off. As a matter of fact, on the West Coast, don't you recall, that's what they were saying. It's the Steelers out there. We'll meet them a little later on in the year. And right now, it looks that way, but you never can tell.
Well, regardless of which team wins this game, Pittsburgh or Baltimore, it's going to be quite an AFC championship game next week over most of these Mutual Network stations. 1 week from today at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum, and the Mutual Sports microphones will be there. That's the second touchdown pass this afternoon from Terry Bradshaw. His 12th of the year. The 30-yard catch for a TD by Swan gives him 4 scores for the year. And now we'll have the run-up and the kick. And for the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's going to be Ray Mansfield doing the kicking. He will kick it straight upfield. It's not a good kick. It bounces around, and Ron Lee takes the ball and runs it right out of bounds at the 35-yard line, where the Baltimore Colts now have 65 yards to go in a matter of 52 seconds, and they need a score right now, and they need it badly, and I'm not talking about a three-pointer either.
Well, that's right. If ever they're going to get back in it, they need a little psychological lift. Plus, they need some points on that board because that's too much of a differential, 23-7. But Bert Jones can hurt you quick. Roger Carr can get free.
The way the Steelers defense is playing, especially against the run, I don't think you can come out with the theory that, well, we'll come out in the second half and establish the run and take control of the game. No way. Here's Jones back to throw on first down at the 25. Right with the shot. Then there's something at the 40, the 45, at the 50, the 45, the 40, at the 35-yard line. Picked off by free safety Glenn Edwards. 6 foot 185 pounds, 7-year veteran from Florida A&M. And Glenn Edwards picks it off and returns it all the way down. They say he went out of bounds at the 34-yard line. And the Steelers are really in business. They can rip it wide open right here. They've got 43 seconds left to go, 34 yards.
Well, Bert Jones is a little bit disturbed with himself. He made a good calculation because Roger Carr off to his left was being double covered. He went to Dowdy over the middle. He just threw the ball a little bit high.
So it's first down and 10 as Bradshaw drops back to throw. Looking, penalty marker on the play. It was Swan coming back over the middle, loses the tackle, 30, 45. Outside at the 20 and out of bounds at about the 19-yard line. Lynn Swan was held up. Broke free. It's going to be a holding call against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The play will not hold up.
Well, that can be a saving factor for the Baltimore Colts because they surely were in field goal range. If they didn't gain another yard, this puts them back considerably. And we'll have the spot for you in just a moment. Bradshaw is very unhappy. It's the 6th Pittsburgh penalty thus far today.
Well, that penalty, a holding call, will set the Pittsburgh Steelers back a bit. That'll bring them back to the 44-yard line. They used up 10 seconds on that play. They had 43 when the ball was snapped back to Bradshaw. 33 now showing on the clock. And that could be a saver for the Baltimore Colts. They've got to keep the Steelers out of field goal range. Slot to the right. Frank Lewis and Lynn Swan. Throw was out to the left. Bradshaw back to throw. He's going to run it. He's not going to run it. He's going to be dropped for a loss back into Pittsburgh territory. He is dropped for a loss back into Pittsburgh territory. He was hit by Big Joe Ehrman, the All-American tackle from Syracuse.
Well, John Dutton and Joe Ehrman are two big giants that do put a lot of pressure on. But the offensive line thus far has held them out pretty well. That sack, and of course they lead the NFL in sacks, the sack pack, but they have to do that kind of thing to get pressure on Terry Bradshaw.
Well, the sack for the Baltimore Colts, I believe, was their first this afternoon. And for the Colts for the year, that's going to give them a total of 58, and that's an American Football Conference high, 58 sacks. You know, Oakland's Coliseum, the site of many a National Football League showdown, will again host the American Football Conference title game. Mutual will be on hand with all the play-by-play as the Raiders take on the winner of today's game. And the winner of the first half thus far has been the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are out in front of the Baltimore Colts 23-7. Last year's Pittsburgh-Oakland match will go down as one of the best in the NFL ever. This year should be no exception. That's the AFC title game next Sunday over many of these mutual stations. This is Pittsburgh's sixth possession. On the first three, they got a touchdown, field goal touchdown. On the fourth possession, they fumbled on the 2. On possession number 5, they got a touchdown. And now let's see what happens on number 6. 28 seconds left to go. The ball is at the 49-yard line. The draw. Harris, 50, 45, to the outside, 40, 35, 30, cuts back again. Finally runs into linebacker Darrell Luce and is knocked down at about the 23-yard line.
Well, the call, Tony, was excellent by Terry Bradshaw, or Noel, wherever it came from, because he caught the Baltimore Colts, and they should have been, in a prevent defense. They were all fading out of there. He comes back to the pocket. That is he, Terry Bradshaw. Makes it look forever more like a pass. Flips it to the guy, Franco Harris, who can run like the wind once he passes the line of scrimmage. A good call.
And he ran for another 30 yards, and that's going to give him 14 carries, 122 yards in this game. So 14 carries, 122 yards, and if we go back to what happened a year ago in the first round, where the Pittsburgh Steelers defeated the Baltimore Colts 28-10 last December, Franco Harris set an AFC playoff record with 153 yards rushing, and it looks like he's going to break that. He might even break it. Now, let's see, what's he got again? 122. Well, he can't break it out in the first half, I don't think, because they've got the ball down at the 22-yard line of Baltimore. First down and 10 to go. And they've got 17 seconds to come up with a marker. Well, that Colts defense, which is one of the better ones in the National Football League, has been thoroughly tested by the Pittsburgh offensive line. Slot right, Lewis in the slot, Bradshaw back to throw. From the 32, right side to Harris, 22, 20, at the 15, at the 10, knocked down at about the 8-yard line. He was hit and dropped at about the 8-yard line, but it's going to be enough yardage for the first down. It'll be first down and goal to go. 7 seconds remain. And I believe the final timeout has been called here by the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Roy Durrell will come in to try for a field goal. It'll be a straight up the middle shot. The ball right now resting between the 7 and 8-yard line. Bobby Walden's going to hold. The ball is going to be put down at the 15. It'll be a 25-yard attempt. And if he makes it, the Steelers would have scored 5 of the 6 times they had the football in the first half. And that is darn near peak efficiency.
You know, Tony, on that little play where he hit Franco to bring the ball down to that position, Franco was the outlet man, and an inside safety had to come to cover him late.
So Walden waiting for the snap. Giraldo will try for another field goal. Here comes the snap now. Spotted down. The kick is up there, and it is good. So we've got a timeout here. 4 seconds left to play. And now it's a 26-7 game, and a game that features the irresistible force against the immovable object. Well, the irresistible force up to now has been flooded, the Baltimore Colts, and the immovable object has done all the flooding up to now. That's the steel curtain of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I talked about with George Radasevich, who is the defensive coordinator or defensive coach for the linebackers for the Pittsburgh Steelers early in the season. I asked him about the turnaround, and he said the turnaround came as a result of some small changes. They didn't flip-flop their corners. That was one of the things that they were doing in the early season when they lost those 4. Well, they've certainly gotten things straightened out.
Well, there's the kick, and the ball is going to be taken at about the 38-yard line. A gang of players there, and that should just about run up all the time on the clock. And although the scoreboard clock does show 1 second left, the ball will be put in play at about the 36-yard line. Baltimore in possession, first down at their own 36.
That Ray Mansfield kick is kind of a sideward spiral. I don't know whether he's really trying to kick the ball that way or that's the way it comes off, but it's a hard knuckle ball to handle. I know that.
Well, Bert Jones back at a quarterback, and it hasn't been exactly an outstanding performance for Jones, mainly because of the Pittsburgh defense. Here's Jones waiting for the snap. The ball at the 36. Back to throw. He's going to have to go for the home run. There's no time left. He fires the ball long downfield. It's headed for Roger Carr. Can't hold on to it. The ball is out of bounds at about the 7-yard line. So that's the end of the first half with a score. The Pittsburgh Steelers 26 and the Baltimore Colts 7. Now this.
Almost time for kickoff. Baltimore trails 26-7. Let's go back to Memorial Stadium.
The third quarter about to get underway, and Pittsburgh's had it all its own way, 26-7. And they will be kicking off to the Baltimore Colts. The Steelers sustained 3 injuries in the first half. Ernie Pugh was hurt, a hip injury on the opening kickoff. Rocky Blyer has an injury, and we understand that Roy Girella has a groin injury, and that's the reason that we've had Ray Mansfield kicking off. Now, Blyer has an ankle injury, and we have not seen him. Frenchie Fuquay, for the most part, has gone all the way. Now, Roy Girella, who did not kick off after a groin muscle pull, is back out there and will attempt it once again from the 35-yard line. Howard Stevens, an eighth man for the Baltimore Colts, standing at about the 7-yard line. Girella will tee it up. And the Colts will have to put out all the stops. There will not be a next Sunday for the Baltimore Colts if they don't win here this afternoon. Pittsburgh came into the game about a 3-point favorite. They lead it by 19. After this contest, remember, it'll be the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams. The kick. Stevens at the 10, the 15, at the 20. Comes to the outside at the 25, the 30, the 35-yard line. Runs into a host of Pittsburgh Steelers and is hustled out of bounds somewhere around the 38 or the 39-yard line. Mel Blunt was there for one. Also there for the Pittsburgh Steelers was Greg Blankenship, the linebacker. So it'll be first down and 10 for the Baltimore Colts as the third quarter gets underway. And they've got the ball at their own 38-yard line. The quarterback is Bert Jones. Wide receivers left and right. Carr left. Dowdy right. Handoff, Lydell Mitchell. Runs right into linebacker Jack Ham. Coming up to cover on the play was Mike Wagner. So Mitchell gets 2 yards, and that's it. And the Baltimore Colts have had a very difficult time moving the ball on the ground against the steel curtain this afternoon. from the 38 to the 40-yard line. The gain is 2. Mitchell has carried the ball 12 times, a total of 37 yards. Over the regular season, he gained 1,200 yards, the number 2 rusher behind O.J. Simpson in the American Football Conference. Second down and 8 for Baltimore. The blue shirted coach threading 26-7. Jones dropping back to throw. From his 30, fires the ball. The pass intended for Mitchell. It is incomplete. Covering on the play was Andy Russell. Mitchell had to reach back for the ball. It was incomplete, and that'll make it third down and 8 yards to go. Tony Roberts and Tom Pagner here with you. Down at Texas Stadium in Dallas, we've got Lindsey Nelson and Pat Sheridan waiting to bring you the game. And it should be a dandy between the Los Angeles Rams and the Dallas Cowboys. An NFC Divisional playoff game. Again, it's Carr wide left. Dowdy is out to the right. Raymond Chester, the tight end, is on the right side. Jones on 3rd and 8, back to throw. Looking, lost the ball down the right sideline. The pass was intended for Don McCauley. He was covered all the way by left side linebacker Jack Ham. Jack Ham did an outstanding job of covering Don McCauley. So on the first offensive series of the third quarter, the Baltimore Colts are not able to move the football, and Burt Jones wants to talk to tight end Raymond Chester. They'll get together and huddle. David Lee back to boot for the Baltimore Colts, standing at the 25-yard line. Waiting for the snap from veteran Forrest Blue. Deep man is Lynn Swan for the Pittsburgh Steelers, standing at the 29-yard line. Finally get the snap back, kick a big rush, and he gets the boomer off. Swan driven back to the 23-yard line, to the 25. He's going to run out of territory at about the 30-yard line, and he has finally rolled out of bounds there. And covering on the play after a 37-yard kick for Baltimore was Dan Dickel, the reserve linebacker. So the Steelers will put the ball in play. First and 10 at their own 31-yard line.
And Tony, we've just gotten a report that Rocky Flyer will not play in the second half. Apparently it's a sprained foot, a sprained toe, and we probably won't see him until possibly the next Pittsburgh game.
First down and 10 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They scored on 5 of 6 possessions in the first half. Bradshaw turned around. Franco Harris has running room from the 30 to the 35 to 36 before Bruce Laird makes the stop on the play. He has some help from left side linebacker Darrell Luce. And the Baltimore Colts up to now have been manhandled, not only by the Pittsburgh defense, but also by the Pittsburgh offense. An offense that churned up 311 yards in the first half. And Franco Harris now has 15 carries, 128 yards. Second down. 4 to go. Pick up 6 by Franco Harris. Fuqua and Harris to the backfield. A quick pitch to Harris to the right side. Gets a block. 35, 40, 42, 43-yard line. Far sideline before he's finally hauled down. Franco Harris just a little slow getting up. He was dicked on the far side by the defensive left end, John Dutton. And the battle of the trenches right now being won, as it has for most of the first half, by the fine Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line.
I think the amazing thing about Franco is, for a big man, what tremendous balance and agility. I've never really seen any secondary man tackle him, arm tackle him with just one arm. They have to really take him.
A first down on the romp by Franco Harris to the right side. Bradshaw turns around, gives to Fuqua. Fuqua off left tackle, past the 45, up to about the 46 or 47-yard line. Lead blocker on the play was Franco Harris. So it'll be a gain of 3. Second down and 7 as Johnny Stallworth comes into the game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Frank Lewis is out as the wide receiver.
Offensive line, sure, and Pittsburgh's been doing this, as you pointed out, Tony, is to make a bubble in the defense, to make a dent, to beat them off the line of scrimmage and win that battle. And they've done that. They've done that continually all day long.
Second down and 7 for Pittsburgh. The line is set. Bradshaw back to throw. From his 39, fires. The pass is caught by Lynn Swan. Will make it John Stallworth, and he is dropped at the 45-yard line. He was hit by Lloyd Mumford and also by Jim Chayunsky, the middle linebacker. But he did get the first down yardage at the 45-yard line of the Baltimore Colts. It just seems, Tom, that there isn't anything the Colts can do to stem the tide.
They really can't. They're afraid to go single coverage and put more rush on them because the receivers of the Steelers are a little too good for them one-on-one, so they go to the zone, and Bradshaw's picking that zone apart when he needs it.
First down and 10 at the 45 of Baltimore. Bradshaw dropping back to throw, going long down to the sideline. Intended for Frank Lewis, cannot get to the ball. Ray Old complaining to the official that he was interfered with by Frank Lewis, but the official is not buying the call. However, there is a penalty marker in the vicinity of the 45 to 50-yard line.
Well, he picked it up, Tony, and put it in his pocket, so apparently it wasn't one that we've come to expect.
The officials are talking it over. The ball was at the 45-yard line, and there is going to be a penalty, and it will be against the Pittsburgh Steelers. In all probability, it'll be a holding call, a 10-yarder, and that's what it is. It'll be offensive holding against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the holding call brings the ball back to Pittsburgh territory, where the Steelers now have it. First down and 20 yards to go from their own 45-yard line. 11:15 showing on the clock in the third quarter. Tony Roberts and Tom Pagna. Baltimore's Memorial Stadium. Bradshaw's averaging 21 yards per completion. He's back to throw. Has the time. Dumped it out to Harris. At the 48, he is drilled down by two Baltimore Colts at that spot. Coming up to meet Franco Harris, who took the pass. Bruce Laird and the linebacker, Darrell Luce. So a gain on the play of, maybe about 3 or 4. It'll be second down, and still about 16 yards to go for the first down.
If you remember, Tony, in the first opening game when the Pittsburgh Steelers played the Oakland Raiders, Lynn Swann was injured. He's really not been himself all the way through the season. The last 3 or 4 games really picked up, and now he demands double coverage.
Stallworth goes wide left, flat to the right. Frank Lewis, wide right, we've got Swann. Here's the handoff. It goes to Harris. Gets away from one man, but cannot get away from another, and he is hit, and he may be hurt. He was hit by John Dutton and then hit again by Joe Ehrman. And I mean, he was really drilled.
Well, it looks to be that the hit came from an upper body position. Well, with the score, Pittsburgh 26 and the Baltimore Colts 7. There's a timeout on the field now.
Let's check some of the other things in sports now. In the National Hockey League last night, the Philadelphia Flyers extended their unbeaten string to 14 games by defeating the hapless St. Louis Blues 2-0. The Blues have now gone 10 games without a victory. Philadelphia goalie Bernie Parent turned aside 38 shot to secure the shutout. Meanwhile, Dennis Hextall drove home 3 goals. The Detroit Red Wings flew past the Atlanta Flames 6-3. It was the second time in his career that Hextall has scored the hat trick. Elsewhere, the Washington Caps tipped up the Pittsburgh Penguins 5-3. The Toronto Maple Leafs outskated Colorado 4-2. The Cleveland Barons fell to Boston Bruins 6-4. The Buffalo Sabres cut down the New York Islanders 4-2. Rangers beat the Blackhawks, or rather they tied 3-3. Vancouver held off Minnesota 3-1, while the Montreal Canadiens blanked the Los Angeles Kings 2-0.
New Year's Day on Mutual will see 4 of the nation's best in college football. First, the Sugar Bowl from New Orleans. Tony and I will be there, and the Superdome is the #1 rated Pitt Panthers, led by Tony Dorsett, take on Southeast Conference champion Georgia. New Year's evening finds Don Criqui and Sam Huffman in Miami for the Orange Bowl. Colorado will face Ohio State in that one, and it's a perfect way to spend New Year's Day. The Sugar Bowl and the Orange Bowl on Mutual.
Franco Harris jumped off the field. He was a little wobbly, a little shaky, a little unsteady going off the field. So Franco Harris and Rocky Bleier both sustaining injuries here this afternoon. So in the backfield now we have John Frenchy Fuquay, and Reggie Harrison. A double wing formation is Bradshaw. Drops back to throw. Looking, going to run to the right at the 40-yard line. Fires the ball upfield and is incomplete. Incomplete pass on third down and 16 yards to go. Make that 19 to go. And the Baltimore Colts defense stiffens for the second time in this game.
Terry Bradshaw elected the last two times that he put the ball in the air to send the tight end, both the wide flankers deep, and then check through or check square his two backs. But both times the linebackers for the Colts were up to it and staved off that threat.
This is the first punt of the afternoon for 14-year veteran Bobby Walden out of Georgia. Howard Stevens, a deep man for Baltimore. The snap and the punt, end over end, coming down. Stevens can return it at the 20, at the 25, at the 30-yard line. Spins forward, gets to the 32-yard line. A 34-yard kick. And that was the first time that the Baltimore Colts technically did stop the Pittsburgh Steelers. The only time the Steelers did not score in the first half, they fumbled the ball at the 3-yard line.
As you say, Tony, that's peak performance. 5 out of 6 times in the possession. The Colts are going to have to do something exciting to get back in it. It'll have to be done soon.
They trail it 26-7. 9:53 to go in the third quarter. Burt Jones has the Colts lined up. Carr left. Dowdy out to the right. Jones back to throw. Rifles the ball over the middle. The pass is caught by Dowdy. Second, Raymond Chester. The tight end, Raymond Chester, made the grab at the 45-yard line. 24-yard pass play on a strike up the middle. Burt Jones to Raymond Chester. And the big tight end has scored at least 3 this afternoon.
Well, Burt put some muscle on that ball. Out of the corner of his eye, he spotted Roosevelt Leach in the flare. He knew he had that as an outlet, but Raymond Chester came open in the seam, and he drilled it. It was on a dead line.
The front four for the Pittsburgh Steelers. L.C. Greenwood, Joe Green, Ernie Holmes, and Dwight White. They're ready to put the pressure on the Colt offense. Jones barking out the signal. Chester the tight end right side. Hand off to Lydell Mitchell. Pull up the middle. 45. Down to the 40-yard line. Brought to a standing stop by Jack Hammond about the 37-yard line. Lydell Mitchell getting about 7 yards on the play. And maybe the Colt offense has found the spot. It's second down and 3 yards to go for the first down. They have been held in check. They gained only 41 yards rushing in the entire first half.
Well, it's been said around the league that Steeler defense can intimidate you in the front line, and that's a young Colt squad they're facing.
Kenny Mendenhall out over the ball. Burt Jones waiting for the snapback. Calls the signal. Gets the ball. Turnaround. Penalty marker is going to be against the Baltimore Colts. Roosevelt leaks. Rules too quickly. It's going to be a motion penalty. He beats the count by about a half a step. He was tackled on the play by Dwight White at the 35-yard line. He had the first down yardage. He picked up about 4 yards on the play, and that's going to hurt Baltimore. And it's that kind of thing, Tom. They can't afford trailing 26-7.
No, that's exactly right. They've got to play near perfect football. No mistakes, no errors, no turnovers, and their defense has got to stiffen.
We're going to pause briefly for station identification. This is Mutual, your news and sports radio network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
Second down and 8. Baltimore with the ball at the Steeler 42. Wide to the left is Roger Carr. Don McCauley is replaced. Roosevelt leaks in the backfield. Out to the right is Glenn Dowdy. Flipped out to Lydell Mitchell. He runs right into the waiting arms of middle linebacker Jack Lambert, who was not pulled on the play. A quick flip by Burt Jones, and it seems that no matter what the Baltimore Colts try, the Steeler defense is equal to the task.
Well, Jack Lambert is a sizable pair of arms to wrap around you, and he bear hugged him just the moment that he caught the football. Burt Jones had 2 hot receivers, and he was trying to key off of the middle linebacker, Lambert. Inadvertently, he threw to the wrong one. That's the direction Lambert was headed.
They pull tackle Ernie Holmes, and the Steelers insert defensive back Donnie Shell, a 4-year veteran from South Carolina. It'll be third down, 6 yards to go. Burt Jones back to throw at midfield. Looking, pumps one, sinks, tries to get away from a tackle, spins away from another tackle, and is finally ridden down and sacked by Jack Lambert. All the Pittsburgh Steelers were coming, but there's a penalty down at the 26-yard line, a penalty marker down at the 26, picked up by the official. The ball will be put down at the 45-yard line. Who's the call going to be against? It's going to be against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Tony, I think it'll have to be a personal foul because the ball was never put in the air to be called pass interference.
Well, it may be they're walking it upfield. The runoff will come from the 41-yard line, the original line of scrimmage here. It was third down and about 7 yards to go for the first down. I believe it's going to be a defensive holding call to bring the ball down to the 36 at a first down, an automatic first down for the Baltimore Colts. And that helps the Colts cause.
They sorely needed that first down pickup. They got it by default, however, but any way they can take it right now is how they need it.
Half of the third quarter is gone. 7 minutes and 41 seconds showing on the clock. And the Colts trail it here 26-7. Out to the right is Dowdy. Wide left is Carr. I formation. Takes the handoff. Coming out of the backfield. Mitchell at the 35. At the 30. Up to the ball. Recovered by Andy Russell of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The hit was made by Jack Ham. Rydell Mitchell fumbled the ball. And Andy Russell made the recovery. So the Pittsburgh Steelers get the football.
Bert Jones is in a controversy down there with the official. He's maintaining something, and I think he may have won his point.
Well, it's not going to be a Pittsburgh recovery. The play may have been blown dead. That's the second big break here.
The turnabout is fair play. Bert Jones employed the same tactic that Bradshaw did. He sent the 3 receivers, Raymond Chester, and the 2 wide receivers, Carr and Dowdy, deep, and then checked through Rydell Mitchell and hit him with a little delayed action. But that fumble was really a fumble except for the whistle.
I thought it was a fumble. It might have been a quick whistle. The gain is 7 yards. It'll be 2nd and 3, and the Colts retain possession. Here's Jones on the handoff to Rydell. Rydell trying to back his way in, and that's not going to work with his Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Rydell talked about sliding and gliding. No way. Not against the steel curtain.
Well, again, it's conjecture on my part, and I really, it's a liberty I shouldn't take, but just as conjecture, Bert Jones cannot attack them straightforward because they're physical. They're too physical for them. However, misdirection, roll out, check through, screen, draw, those are the tools you have to go to against this great defensive unit of the Steelers.
They gained a yard on Mitchell's thrust at the Steelers. It'll be 3rd down and 2 to go for Baltimore. The ball is at the Pittsburgh 28-yard line. Big play here. Turn around, give Roosevelt. He got the first down. He powered off the left side, inside the 25, down to about the 23, and the Baltimore drive stays alive.
Well, McCauley always earns his keep as a lead blocker or a ball carrier. That time he was the lead blocker for Roosevelt League. And re-entering the game, of course, Roger Carr and Rydell Mitchell.
They were able to move Ernie Holmes to the left, move him out, and White looping around the left, when right side of ball carrier Roosevelt League. First down and 10. The ball is up to 23. Jones dropping back to throw. Looks, fires long to Roger Carr. Too long. Pass was intended for Roger Carr. Too long in the end zone. Brett Edwards covering for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That'll make it 2nd and 10, Baltimore. 5:50 showing on the clock. And the Colts need a touchdown on this drive. They trail 26-7.
Well, Bert Jones, a little off target, but he can throw the ball. I really like to see him roll out. I think it gives him a little time to stretch the defense. Probably is a little easier to protect because they really zero in on you at the pocket level.
Well, the Steelers pull their big tackle, Ernie Holmes, and insert defensive back Johnny Shell. 2nd down and 10. The ball is at the 22-yard line of Pittsburgh. Baltimore in possession. In the backfield, Leaks, Rydell Mitchell. Jones under a heavy rush is not going to go anywhere. He is sacked for a loss back at the 33-yard line. And it was right side linebacker Andy Russell who came in and got the job done. Jack Ham poured in from the left side, so the Pittsburgh Steelers blitzing on the play. had one linebacker dropping back, and that was middle linebacker Jack Lambert. They blitzed left and right and got the job done. A loss back to the 32, where it now becomes 3rd down and 20 to go for Baltimore.
5:43 left in the third quarter. Score 26-7 in favor of Pittsburgh, and a key 3rd down and long 20, as Tony says, to make up for Burt Jones.
Wide to the right goes Roger Carr. Out to the left is Dowdy. In the backfield now, Don McCauley and Lydell Mitchell. Jones gets the snap, drops back to throw. Again the heavy rush. He's going to be hit. He stopped again for a loss by Andy Russell. Andy Russell, the linebacker, came in. Also in that backfield applying the pressure was L.C. Greenwood. So, consecutive sacks put the ball down at the 40-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it now becomes 4th down and 28 yards to go for a 1st down. And again, the Baltimore offense cannot get the job done.
What a tremendous rush the Pittsburgh Steelers front four put on. A double sack, and Burt Jones walks over sullenly to the sideline, and they go into their punting formation.
David Lee back at the 45-yard line. Lone single safety back at the 10-yard line for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Lee waiting for the snap from Forrest Blue. Gets it, and the kick is up in the air. It's Theo Bell. There's going to be a penalty marker again. Bell makes the grab, runs the ball up to the 14-yard line, but there's going to be a roughing the kicker penalty against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
It's just such a penalty that to turn the thing around, that gives them a new life. It gives them an automatic 1st down, repossession of the ball, possibility of putting a score in, and they have to have a score here. Otherwise, time works against them.
The penalty against Larry Brown, who was rushing on the play. Brown was an inside rusher, flipped his block, moved to the left, had to get a piece of the ball, did not, got a piece of David Lee instead, and the Baltimore Colts are still in business with a 1st down at the 35-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. If they ever do score on this drive, I don't know. They may have covered somewhere around a half an acre. 1st and 10 for Baltimore. Jones back to throw. 1st down. Looking, running up the middle at the 40. Tries to elude one tackler, does. Gets away from Jack Ham, but cannot get away from Ernie Holmes, and is dropped out at the 35, the line of scrimmage.
You have to look at the Pittsburgh secondary running step for step with the receivers, Dowdy, Roger Carr, Raymond Chester, and the defensive secondary for Pittsburgh absolutely stacked onto them like varnish on or paint on a wall.
4:25 showing on the clock. The score is 26-7. The Pittsburgh Steelers are out in front. They have never trailed in this game. The Colts have run 9 plays from the Pittsburgh 45. They're at the 35 now. 2nd down and 10. Jones gets the snap, takes the handoff, flips the ball out to Roosevelt. Leaks. It is not in time. The pass was incomplete. There was a penalty marker, however, on the play. And one of the Steelers getting up hurting, and that's the defensive right end, Dwight White. And he's going to be replaced by John Banaszak, a 6'3", 244-pound, 3-year veteran from Eastern Michigan.
Well, Don McCauley entering the game for Roosevelt Leaks for the Baltimore Colts, and I think the infraction is probably against the defensive set of Pittsburgh because somebody on the defensive line yipped.
Penalty was declined. The penalty was against the Baltimore Colts, a motion penalty against Baltimore.
That's probably what caused the yip.
Well, the Colts just have been so frustrated here. They have had opportunity after opportunity, and they've still been able to only reach the 35-yard line. On this drive, they started back at the 32. And there have been key penalties. So it's 3rd and 10, and Jones back to throw. Looking, rolling to the right. Takes the pass. Being chased by Mean Joe Green. Gets away from him and is knocked out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. A gain of only 4, and Burt just slammed the ball to the ground in disgust.
Well, when you take a look at the size of Mean Joe Green running and racing with, foot-stepping with Burt Jones, and just about catching him, you get some idea of the awesome size and speed they have.
Well, they picked up a grand total of 3 yards, and I'm stretching it by about a half a yard. It'll be 4th down and still about 7 yards to go for a first down. Mean Joe Green's going to get a breather. Donnie Shell comes in. Ernie Holmes is in. At the defensive right end, we've got John Danasak. Defensive left end is L.C. Greenwood. And with 4th down and 7 to go, the Colts are going to go for it. They have no choice. Here's Jones, back to throw. Being rushed, going long, and set up for Roger Carr. Can't get up to it. Roger Carr was triple teamed on that play. Donnie Shell was there.
Well, just before the snap of the ball, Tony, Jack Lambert was waving his arms in the air because there was some misalignment. There's a timeout with a score, Pittsburgh 26, the Colts 7. Now this word.
Pro basketball on Saturday found Walt Frazier putting in a rebound, the buzzer, give the New York Knicks a 115-113 overtime victory over the Cleveland Cavaliers. High man of the game for the Knicks was Spencer Haywood. He had 35 points. That's a season high for him. Newly acquired Bob McAdoo added 26 points. Elsewhere in the NBA, Julius Erving scored 23 points and grabbed 12 rebounds to lead the Philadelphia 76ers to a 97-93 triumph over the Indiana Pacers. The Sixers were playing without 2 starters, George McGinnis and Doug Collins, both out with injuries suffered Friday night in the contest with Golden State. Elsewhere, the New Orleans Jazz got by the Houston Rockets 110-106. The Golden State Warriors took care of Washington. They won 115-110. The Denver Nuggets stampeded the Chicago Bulls 111-106. Kansas City over Phoenix. And Boston outscored Atlanta 117-110. In overtime, Los Angeles was beaten by Portland 115-111.
Last offensive series that Pittsburgh had the ball, Franco Harris was bruised. We've gotten a report that he was bruised his rib, and if needed, will return. Well, Tony, it's kind of frustrating for the Colts. They couldn't move the football. They had a couple of chances there due to some penalties against the Steelers. Burt Jones a little frustrated, and again, the defensive unit for the Colts comes on the field, and they have that task of shutting off the Steelers.
That was the longest drive of the game with 13 plays, but all they were able to get on the 13 plays, 36 yards. First and 10 at the 32-yard line. Bradshaw's going to throw it from the 24, out of the backfield, at the 35, it's Harrison at the 40, at the 45, the 49-yard line. Ray Oldham makes the hit on the play. A 17-yard pass play to Reggie Harrison, a private of a 220-pound, 4-year veteran out of Cincinnati.
And again, Bradshaw is employing that same strategy, sending the tight end, the 2 wide receivers deep, clearing everything out, then checking by a delay measure, the 2 backs flaring over the middle or out to the side, and hitting them, letting them run with the football.
First down and 10 for Pittsburgh, near midfield. Here's Bradshaw turning around, gives the ball to Harrison. Harrison finds a hole at right tackle in the Baltimore territory, and finally gets brought to a halt at about the 43-yard line. Reggie Harrison gets the ball up about 7 yards upfield, maybe 8. It'll be second down and short, about 2 yards to go for a first down. Well, the Steelers on the move once again. They have just manhandled that Baltimore Colts defensive unit, and the Steelers defense has just been superb. Wide receivers left and right. Handoff. Harrison straight ahead. May have the first down, maybe not. He shoved all the way back to the 45-yard line of Baltimore. He will get forward progress right down to the 40-yard line. And from here, it looks like it's going to be a first down for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, there hasn't been a heck of a lot for the crowd here at Baltimore's Memorial Stadium to cheer about, with the exception of the second possession by the Baltimore Colts when they went 69 yards in 8 plays. The last 17 covered on a Burt Jones to Roger Carr pass. That's been it. First down, Pittsburgh at the 40-yard line of Baltimore. Steelers have just been masterful. Fake handoff, Bradshaw looking, throwing upfield. Great catch by Lynn Swan. Oh! A leaping grab by Lynn Swan was hit immediately on the play by Lloyd Mumford. But he went high in the air, and talk about concentration and pulling the ball out of the air. A superb catch by Swan, a 13-yard grab.
You know, one of the things that was so great about that catch, Tony, is the fall. Because he had nothing to support his fall with. He knew that if he helped with an arm one way or the other, he would have let go of the ball. But he concentrated enough, bundled his body up, and took the jar when his body hit the ground.
And the big shot on that play was by Brian Chalder, the former Redskin and Miami Dolphin. Here's the handoff. Harrison again pulling for running yardage. He's got it inside the 25 down to the 23-yard line before he's tackled out there by linebacker Jim Triunsky on the play. Brian Sauter has replaced, I believe it's Bruce Laird in the defensive backfield. Nope, not Bruce Laird. Lloyd Mumford's in. So is Laird. He's replaced Jackie Wallace. Ray Oldham is one of the deep men in the secondary. Sauter is 6'5", 196 pounds, a 6-year veteran out of Pittsburgh. Reggie Harrison got about 3. It'll be second down and 7. Here's the handoff to Harrison again, and he just pulls his way down to the 20-yard line. Picks up about 4 more yards on the play, and it'll be third down and 3 yards to go. The ball will be put down at the 21-yard line. On the play, the 2 tackles. Joe Ehrman, Big John Dutt was also there. The ball just short of the 20-yard line, with third down and short. Third down, about 3.5 yards to go for the first down. Bradshaw. We've got 8 seconds left. But apparently they're going to let the clock run out, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter of play. So, the end of the third quarter with a score. The Pittsburgh Steelers 26, the Baltimore Colts 7. Now this.
UCLA and Alabama will meet on the gridiron for the first time in tomorrow night's Liberty Bowl game in Memphis, Tennessee. This is also the first time the Liberty Bowl has paired the runner-ups from 2 major conferences, and the nationally televised game is a sellout. UCLA finished second to USC in the Pacific 8 Conference with a 9-1-1 record, while Alabama ended the regular season with an 8-3 mark. The Bruins' high-powered offense features sophomore running back Theodis Brown, senior Wendell Tyler, and quarterback Jeff Dankworth. Brown rushed for 990 yards during the season. Tyler gained 944 on the ground, and Dankworth picked up 755 yards. Alabama doesn't have UCLA's glittering credentials in offense, but the Crimson Tide does rank ahead of UCLA in total defense. That shapes up to be a good ball game, Liberty Bowl game, Monday night in Memphis, Tennessee, UCLA and Alabama.
It's the fourth quarter here at Baltimore's Memorial Stadium, where a catastrophe crime for the most part is sad and soon started this afternoon as the Pittsburgh Steelers are beating the Baltimore Colts by a score of 26-7 in a game that was supposed to fit the irresistible object. No, what is that? The irresistible force against the immovable object. But anyway, it's 26-7, Pittsburgh out in front. Standing by Lindsey Nelson and Pat Sheridan down at Texas Stadium in Dallas, Texas. And I'm going to guess that that one's going to be a lot closer than this one has been. 375 total yards so far for the Steelers. 131 yards for the Baltimore Colts. Pittsburgh in possession. The ball up the 21-yard line. Third down and 4. Hand off to Harrison. 20, 15, very close to the 10-yard line. He's got the first down and then some. Well, the Steelers minus the 2 8-running backs, the 1,000-yard rushers, Rocky Blyer and Franco Harris, are doing right well down practice with Reggie Harrison and John Duplin, especially Harrison now, who's been called on time after time to carry the ball.
Well, one of the things that the Steelers have had is the depth to do that kind of thing with. You look at Trushek coming in for Bradshaw, and now these 2 fine young backs playing behind Franco Harris and Rocky Blyer.
8 carries, 30 yards for Harrison. Split back, line set. Bradshaw looking to throw off the ball instead of the Swan. Didn't hold on to it. Got one hand on it, couldn't hold on to it. May not have been a touchdown had he been able to latch onto it, because he was touching that ball just as he stepped out of the end zone. Lloyd Mumford was covering on the play for the Baltimore Colts.
The Steeler offense has surprised me today. I think it surprised a lot of Colts fans and maybe the Colts team itself. It only gets harder for the winner of this game. Of course, it becomes very easy for the loser because their season's over. And the Steelers have gone on 9 straight. This is 10. This is making 10.
11 out of 15, 205 yards for Bradshaw. The line is set. Bradshaw back to throw. Big rush on. Touchdown, Lynn Swan. Bradshaw, 11-yard touchdown pass to Lynn Swan. And it's now a 32-7 ball game.
Tony, I think Lloyd Mumford is going to be seeing Lynn Swan crossing in front of him, running post behind him all of his life, because Lynn Swan is about an agile, smooth-flowing, high-gear, second-gear, change-of-pace receiver as I've ever seen. What he did there was got the inside on Lloyd. He gave a little head fake to the outside, cut underneath him, and then on that crossing pattern, Bradshaw just made a perfect throw.
Here comes the point after touchdown attempt by Girona. And I think we can safely say it'll be Oakland and Pittsburgh next week. It's up and it is good. So, with a score, the Pittsburgh Steelers 33, the Baltimore Colts 7. There's a timeout in the field. Now this.
Kentucky's basketball team lost the nation's longest college winning streak and a chance to move up in the college rankings this weekend, but the Wildcats are going to be tough for the rest of the year. Kentucky's 16-game winning streak came to an end on Saturday night when Utah shocked the third-ranked Wildcats 70-68 in the championship game of the Kentucky Invitational. It was apparent Kentucky missed the services of freshman guard Jay Schindler and center Mike Phillips, who were suspended by coach Joe Hall prior to the tournament for missing curfew. However, Hall said the 2 starters and reserve Truman Claytor will rejoin the team for Kentucky's next game against 4th-ranked and unbeaten Notre Dame on December 30th. That should be some ball game. Utah, which knocked off nationally ranked Nevada, Las Vegas earlier this year, played a near flawless game against Kentucky. Jeff Judkins scored 24 points. Earl Williams sealed the verdict when he hit a jump shot with 1 second left. Utah's defense held Jack Givens, Kentucky's leading scorer, to just 8 points.
Pittsburgh has just scored its 33rd point, leads the ball game 33-7. There's 14-10 left in the 4th quarter. Pretty much dominated things here today, and they're getting ready to kick off again to the Colts.
Gary Bradshaw has thrown 3 touchdown passes. Here's a run-up and a boot. It'll be taken by Stevens at the 16, at the 20, at the 25, at the 30-yard line. Comes to the outside, eludes a couple of tacklers, and fights his way up to the 35-yard line, where Baltimore takes over first down and 10 at the 35.
I remember a statement that Chuck Noll made just prior to their winning the first Super Bowl. He said simply, whatever it takes. That became the motto of that team, and they have done that this year, whatever it takes, and it looked like for a while it was going to be impossible. Well, attendance here today, 60,000, 20 people. It's a complete sellout.
First down and 10 for Baltimore. Burt Jones has gone all the way. Double wing formation. Jones getting the snap. Moving to the left, looking, throwing the ball up over the middle. Lydell Mitchell's got it, and he's going to be ridden down back at the 37-yard line. He caught the ball actually at the 43-yard line, and Jack Lambert was the man who knocked him down. Lambert made the tackle on the play. A sign just a moment ago, Tom, said they won't accept refunds. The championship game of the American Football Conference would be played in Oakland next Sunday afternoon, and you can hear it right here on these Mutual Network stations. And that one between Pittsburgh and Oakland just might be better than the Super Bowl. Here's Burt Jones turning around, gives the ball to Lydell, and Lydell has had a rough afternoon running the ball, as have so many teams against the Steel Curtain. Gets it up to the 45, maybe the 46. He got the first down, and that's what the Colts wanted, the first down. They got the first down, 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line.
Immediately following this game, of course, Lindsey Nelson, along with Pat Sheridan down in Dallas, will pick up that L.A. game, which really rounds out the 4th game of the playoffs.
15 carries, 50 yards for Lydell Mitchell. Carr is wide left. Here's Jones looking, rolling to the right, throwing on the run, in and out of the hands of Raymond Chester at the 45. He had the first down yardage, couldn't hold on to the football. Incomplete pass.
That's the thing. Burt, I think, gives himself more time when he rolls out. He's rolled out 3 times here in this last series. Once Raymond Chester misses right there. He hit Lydell Mitchell on a little crossing pattern. That gives him some time, and it takes the heat off of that great rush of the Steelers.
Well, the Steelers have won 9 straight. They were 1-4. They won 9 in a row, made the playoffs, and they're well on their way to victory number 10. Burt Jones, the quarterback, waiting for the snap on 2nd and 10. From the 45, up the middle, caught by Dowdy at the 31. At the 30-yard line, he's going to be hit and knocked down at about the 29-yard line. Everybody getting a little piece of the action. Mike Wagner was there. Mel Blunt was there. A 26-yard pass play. So it's the first down for the Baltimore Colts at the 29-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's Dowdy's first catch of the afternoon. And it has been a very long afternoon for the Baltimore offense. Dowdy goes wide to the right. Roger Carr has been shackled completely with the exception of his touchdown catch. Jones dropping back, looking, throws that ball to Carr at the 10-yard line. He's got it. Roger Carr takes it at the 10-yard line. Blunt and Andy Russell making the tackle on the play.
Well, you know, Roger that time ran a route, but he was getting double coverage by the linebacker underneath and the deep corner man. And what he did was to get forced outside, he could see that there was a deep man, so he did a curl, turned in towards the passer about 20 yards down the field, and Burt had the ball on the money.
Well, Carr goes wide right this time. Dowdy is out to the left. Burt Jones, the quarterback, waiting for the snap. The Steelers may have been offside. Penalty markers before Jones can throw the ball. White. Shoved the ball back at Burt Jones. Now White has something to say to Robert Pratt, the offensive left guard. Jones going over toward the line of scrimmage.
I think that call against the Colts is illegal motion. I saw Raymond Chester, the tight end, lined up to the left, number 87, kind of yipped again prior to the snap of the ball.
Well, back in the first quarter, you'll recall that Jones flipped the ball at White, so the rap is going to be against the Baltimore Colts. That'll make it first down and 15, about at the 16-yard line. 33-7, Pittsburgh out in front. And they have had it all their own way since the very first series. As a matter of fact, on 3rd down and 8, Bradshaw connects on a 76-yard touchdown pass. Here's a pass into the end zone intended for Raymond Chester, and it is incomplete. Covering on the play was Wagner, and Jack Lambert arguing with the official. Lambert can really drop back and cover and
I was just going to say that, Tony. He's amazing because, you know, he's 6'4"-ish and maybe even a little taller than that. And one of the things that he does, he's mobile. He got 15 to 17 yards of drop from the middle linebacker spot trying to cover Raymond Chester as a tight end to the right. That's fabulous.
Well, Lambert comes out. They insert an extra back. And that's going to make it 2nd down and 15 to go. Will they blitz here with 2nd and 15? Everybody's coming. Jones has to throw. Intended for Carr, penalty marker on the play. Or was there? The official threw his hat, I thought.
Well, really, Burt Jones did the wisest thing he could have done. He put the ball up, he laid it up, and allowed Roger Carr to run under it because he knew he was going to be safety blitzed by the right strong safety, and there was nothing else to do but unload the ball and take a possibility of having a reception by Carr.
The reason that official upfield threw his hat was apparently Carr had run out of bounds on the pattern, and then they'd come back inbound. So the official in throwing his hat had marked the spot on the field where Carr had run out of bounds. So if the catch had been made, it would not have counted. That'll make it 3rd down and 15. The ball at the 16-yard line of Pittsburgh. And the Steelers leading it 33-7. 11:32 to go. Here's Jones under heavy pressure to Dowdy. Dowdy's got it. Right down to the 5-yard line, to the 4-yard line. He finally got away from left corner J.T. Thomas. There is a penalty marker on the play. They are teeing off on Burt Jones now.
They really are, Tony. They were in a single free safety so that they could blitz the linebackers, and they were really coming. As a matter of fact, the ball he threw was a quick release.
You know, if you're going to play and you've got a guy like First Jones, I don't understand why more teams will have people like First Jones and Joe Theismann just don't go to the shotgun to give that guy a little more time.
Makes a lot of sense when you got such a tremendous front row of beef coming in at you, and then you add on to that with the linebackers and safety blitzes.
We pause briefly for station identification. This is Mutual, your news and sports radio network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
Well, Bert Jones, down inside the 10, Tony, we've seen it before, often puts the pressure on himself. I don't know whether he dare do it right here with the Steelers, but they're getting double coverage on Roger Carr, and a little misdirection by Bert wouldn't hurt.
First down, goal to go. The ball at the 8-yard line. Hand off to Latta, Mitchell at the 10, at the 5, down to the goal line at the 1-yard line. Did not get out of bounds. 11 minutes and 15 seconds, clock running here. Lydell Mitchell on a switch to the right. He'll come out now as Don McCauley comes into the ball game.
And also another tight end for the Colts, Jimmy Kennedy going in. Probably going to run that power play inside the 1-yard line now. Or right at the 1-yard line, I beg your pardon.
Down he goes wide to the right. Roosevelt Leaks and Don McCauley, a couple of power backs in the backfield. First Jones, cut around, Dib, Roosevelt Leaks. He's got the touchdown. Roosevelt Leaks scores a touchdown on a flat from the left side. And that is only the 6th touchdown rushing against the Pittsburgh Steelers all season long. That is the National Football League hold.
The Colts did do that. They've been on the board twice now. That makes the score 33-13. They'll be trying for their 14th point. 10:44 left to play in the fourth quarter as the Steelers, except for a couple of big plays by the Colts, have dominated play here today.
10:44 to fourth quarter. Linhart for the PAT. Penalty marker on the play. It's up and it's good. Hold it. A flag on the play. 33-13. That's the Shelly. Offside. Pittsburgh decline. Point is good with the score. The Pittsburgh Steelers 33, Baltimore 14. There's a timeout now. This word.
Oakland's Ken Stabler won his first NFL passing title with a 103.7 rating this year, narrowly beating out Baltimore's Burt Jones, who led throughout most of the year but finished with 102.6. Stabler took over the NFL lead in the Raiders' 35-20 win against Cincinnati during the 13th weekend and rested last Sunday as Oakland defeated San Diego 24-0. Jones completed 13 of 20 for 248 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. The Colts' 58-20 victory over the Bills of the last weekend that clinched the Eastern Division crown. If Jones hadn't thrown that interception against Buffalo, which was tipped by the intended receiver Glenn Dowdy, Jones would be the NFL champion with a 103.8 rating to Stabler's 103.7. Jones can take some consolation in the fact that this was the first season that any NFL quarterback finished with a 100-plus rating.
Ernest Hill back at the 10-yard line for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Linhart will kick it off. Remember, tomorrow night, stay tuned to your Mutual station because it'll be the Liberty Bowl. The Bruins of UCLA battling the Crimson Tide of Alabama. One of college football's best matchups of 1976. Lindsey Nelson and I will be at the Liberty Bowl Stadium in Memphis, Tennessee. The Liberty Bowl tomorrow night right here on Mutual. After this game, the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams from Texas Stadium. Lindsey Nelson and Pat Sheridan. They went up by Linhart and the kick. Onside kick recovered nicely by the Steelers at the 50-yard line, and they are in business. That recovery was made by Pittsburgh's big tight end Benny Cunningham. The onside kick does not work.
It's been a very costly last couple of games for the Steelers in terms of people. In this game alone, Franco Harris is on the sideline with bruised ribs. Rocky Bleier with an injured foot. Ernie Pugh got hurt on the kickoff return to open the game. Roy Girella has a stretch groin, and they lost Jack Delaplane a week ago.
Bradshaw is still the quarterback. The running backs are Harrison and Frenchie Fuquay. And Reggie gets hit, spins around, tries to get some more yardage. Does manage to get the ball into Baltimore territory before being ridden down by Jim Chansky and by Big John Dutton, the defensive right end. Picks up about 2 on the play. It'll be second down and 8 to go. Johnny Stallworth comes into the game. Frank Lewis is out. Lynn Swan of the Steelers has caught 5 passes for 77 yards this afternoon, and 2 of those 5 passes have been for touchdowns. A 30-yarder back in the second quarter, and at the top of the fourth quarter, an 11-yard pass from Bradshaw. Bradshaw back to throw. Swan cutting over the middle. Bradshaw throws to Swan. He's got it at the 43. He's hit. There's also a penalty marker on the play. Swan flanked wide to the right, cutting over the middle. Was hit and upended by Jim Chansky, the middle linebacker. But there was a penalty marker thrown upfield, and apparently the rap was going to be against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And a very educated guess here would be a holding call.
You know, Tony, the pattern that they're running with Lynn Swan, they're running it against the zone. The Colts are going to a zone so that they don't put the pressure on a guy like Lloyd Mumford playing single up on Lynn Swan. Swan runs down from his wide receiver right position about 8 to 10 yards, and then he does a square all the way across the field. This is after the tight end and the other split end on the other side have driven deep and let the zone expand. And it's an underneath kind of thing. Bradshaw can deliver that in his sleep, and it's a very dangerous play offensively.
Second down and 19, the 10th penalty against the Pittsburgh Steelers. A total of 70 yards. Bradshaw back to throw. Flips it out of the backfield at the 40, the 45, the 50. It's this way at the 45, at the 40. Runs into a Colt defender, breaks away from Brian Sauber, and gets about 4 more yards on the play. He's finally knocked down at about the 26-yard line. Lloyd Mumford made the hit after a 31-yard play. Bradshaw, that is, to Frenchie Fuquay. Now the second unit is in there. Ray Mansfield, the 5-year veteran from Minnesota, is in at center. Jerry Mullins is still in that right tackle. Frank Lewis comes out, and back into the ball game we've got Lynn Swan. So a 31-yard play puts the Steelers in business. First down and 10 at the 27-yard line of the Baltimore Colts. Bradshaw on the handoff. Fuquay again to the right side. 25, 20, pulls over a tackler and fights down to about the 17-yard line before Darrell Lewis, the left side linebacker of the Baltimore Colts, makes the stop on the play.
Well, Frenchie Fuqua has not had a whole lot of playing time this year. He's really doing well, spelling off Rocky Bleier, the injured Rocky Bleier, I might add. One of the things that, he suffered, he was a premier running back several years back. He had knee surgery. He came back off of it. He served in a backup capacity, but that's really the mark of a good football team, when you have depth and guys that are willing to step in when they're called on.
First down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the Baltimore 17-yard line. Bradshaw off to Fuquay, cuts in at the 15, the 10 down to the 9-yard line. Frenchie Fuquay again stopped by linebacker Stan White, the 5-year veteran from Ohio State, but not before he picks up a good 6 or 7 yards. A gain of about 7. It'll be second down and 3 yards to go for the first down. Larry Brown comes out. The Steelers have 200 yards rushing, 239 yards passing, 439 total yards, and my friend, that's what you call offensive balance. Second down. Here's the handoff to Harrison. 10 at the 5. Touchdown, Reggie Harrison. Harrison on a bolt up the middle from 10 yards out, goes in for the score.
Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers are hot. They really are. Little reverse pivot, quick opener, trap, handoff to Harrison, and he just ripped it in. And Tony, out on the West Coast, they're screaming Oakland. They want Pittsburgh. And I wonder if they really know what they're saying. This is an awesome football team we're watching today.
They can have them. Are you so cold?
Well, I've had warmer days in the broadcasting business this year. Had some wet ones, had some snow in Cincinnati when we watched the same team win over the Bengals.
Ray Mansfield going to try with a point after here. Bobby Walden holding the kick by Mansfield up. He's got it. And boy, is he happy with a score. The Pittsburgh Steelers 40. The Baltimore Colts 14. There's a timeout on the field. Now this.
Well, it's final now in Miami. Joy and Worsham and Chichi Rodriguez, their games meshing perfectly, rallied with 3 straight birdies today on the back 9 for 71 to win the mixed team golf championship, thus splitting the $40,000 first prize. The diminutive Worsham Rodriguez team will exchange kisses on the cheek after each of their birdies finished the tournament with a 13-under par 275. They were 4 shots ahead of the Sylvia Bertosolini Jim Colbert team, and Australians Penny Pulse and David Graham, who tied at 279. Worsham and Rodriguez had gone into the final round, tied with Sandra Post and Tom Watson at 12 under par 204, but Post and Watson faltered badly with a 4 over par 7 to finish 4th at 280. Worsham Rodriguez started the last 5 holes tied with the other team, but then started their birdie streak with a 3 on the par 4 14th.
A lot of Pittsburgh Steelers fans that made the trip from Pittsburgh to the Colt Stadium today, Tony, and they aren't walking away disappointed. As a matter of fact, you pointed out Ray Mansfield kicked that extra point. That had to take him back, 15 years maybe to his college days. He got on the scoreboard. They were happy for him with that extra point.
And the run-up on the kick, and it's Howard Stevens deep at the 10-yard line. The kick going off to the side. It will go out of bounds, and that means they'll fly it all over. It'll be a 5-yard penalty against the Pittsburgh Steelers. A look at the stats. Bradshaw, 13 out of 17, 247 yards. 3 touchdown passes this afternoon. One the lowest due to Swan. 210 yards rushing for the Steelers. Harris, 17 carries, 132, and he surely would have broken the record he set a year ago against these same Baltimore Colts at Three River Stadium when he rushed for 153 playoff yards. Harrison has 10 carries, 42 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Rusty Fuquay, 8 carries, a total of 37 yards. Lynn Swan, 5 receptions, a total of 77 yards, and 2 touchdown passes.
It's Bobby Walden doing the kickoff now, and Mansfield got a little rest after he scored.
Bobby'd have a tough time in pass, front, and kick. That went to the 30, the 35, up to about the 45-yard line. Ron Lee made the run back, about a 15-yard run back from the 30 to the 45, and the Baltimore Colts have the ball. First down and 10 at the 45.
Well, not so much from the Colts standpoint, Tony, but if indeed the Pittsburgh Steelers get back on offense again, I would kind of go with your suggestion through the year that they jerk Bradshaw, give Krusek a little time, spare any possibility of injury.
First down and 10. Terry Bradshaw has been 9 near perfect this afternoon. Jones back to throw. Being rushed. Throws the ball up over the middle. Roosevelt leaks the fullback. Coming out of the backfield. Got it. There is a penalty marker, however, on the play. Leaks the ball down to the 45-yard line. It's gotten to the point now where you're doing the play-by-play, and anytime there's any kind of yardage gained, a punt, a kickoff return, a pass play, you're always looking back toward the line of scrimmage to see if somebody has thrown a flag.
Well, I can see in the last 2 days that we've done 2 big games, division playoff games. The intensity is so great, you want to do so well that they are frequently penalty plays. As a matter of fact, I think sometimes the tone is set in that first quarter. If they want to call holding offensively on any play, I think they possibly could. If they want to call pass interference, they possibly could. It really, I think, depends upon the tone that is set during the day and just the overall judgment of the official, which is usually pretty good.
The penalty Walked off, makes it 1st and 20. It was holding. Bert Jones racing out to the left, throwing that ball under tremendous pressure, throws the ball away. He tried to get that ball out to Glenn Dowdy, but there was a big rush on, and Ernie Holmes has really been harassing Bert Jones all afternoon. Applied a tremendous amount of pressure, but there's also a penalty marker at the 41-yard line. They've got to have the dirtiest handkerchiefs in the league by the time this one's over.
Well, there's some new faces in the Pittsburgh defense.
Yes, Steve Burnett, 6'4", 255, a 6-year veteran from Rhode Island, who backs up at left end, left tackle, and right tackle, and also at right end is in there. Andy Russell, a veteran linebacker, still remains in. Jack Ham is still in, as is middle linebacker Jack Lambert, who probably has the dirtiest uniform. J.T. Thomas is still the left corner. Mel Blunt is the right corner. Blunt matched up against Roger Carr. Jones dropping back to the 30, eludes the rush, can't get away from Ernie Holmes, and he's going to be sacked. He's up for a loss back at the 37 to 38-yard line.
Tony, you pointed out that the two cornerbacks for the Steelers are still the same people, J.T. Thomas and Mel Blount. I don't believe that I've ever seen two more apt and professional corner people. They are really something.
Franco Harris, very, very slowly, walking off the field, and I mean very slowly, off to our right. Looks like Franco can hardly walk. He's going off under his own tower. Second down, 22 yards to go. Again, a penalty marker on the play. Pass complete to McCauley at the 40. Out of bounds he goes at the 45-yard line. Down McCauley, out of bounds right around the 45. But as soon as that ball was snapped, there was a penalty marker thrown down, and the rap is going to be against the Baltimore throat. And Bert Jones can't believe it. Just tucks his hands under his armpits and says, "You got to be kidding me."
Well, when things go bad, and they often do, what's that old saying, that old saw about if there's anything possible that can go wrong, it will. I think they call that Murphy's Law, and the Baltimore Colts have got to believe that today.
And it's now second down and 27 yards to go. 6 minutes, 42 seconds left. That's the 19th penalty in this game. That's 19 penalties taken. 6 of them refused. 14. Pittsburgh on top of Baltimore, and a laugher for the Steelers this afternoon. Bert Jones back to throw. Fires the ball. Raymond Chester had it. Couldn't hold on to it at the 40-yard line. Jones had the time. Chester crossing over the middle. Couldn't hold on to the football. That'll make it third down. And still 27 yards to go. Well, this has not been a contest. It was third down and 8 on the opening series. Pittsburgh in possession, and Terry Bradshaw dropped back and rifled a 76-yard scoring strike to Frank Lewis. And from that time on, it was all Pittsburgh Steelers.
Joe Green has just exited, and we've got a little replacement in there for him. John Vanacek is his backup. Give these young fellows a little experience and rest some of those fellows that played so well.
Third and 27. The ball at the 28-yard line. Bert Jones with a deep, deep drop. He's going to be sacked. He can't get it off. He's down at about the 15-yard line. Bert Jones sacked at the 15-yard line. Dwight White was one of the people in there. So it's going to be fourth down and about a half an acre to go. 40 yards to go for a first down.
Well, Bert Jones will have better days. He's had them, and he will in the future. He's a great quarterback, as witnessed by the fact that he was issued the award that he was today. And one of the things about Bert is he's a tenacious young individual. He's competitive. He'll be back. There'll be brighter days. I know that.
Well, Lynn Swan is the safety for the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore 49-yard line, and David Lee is going to punt. Gets it up. It is a boomer. It'll drive Swan back, all the way back to the 37. Comes to the right, looking for a block. Cannot get it. Reverses his field. Back at the 30. Runs into a lot of Baltimore coach, and he's down at the 35-yard line. 48-yard punt. With the score, Pittsburgh 40 and Baltimore 14. There's a timeout on the field. Now this.
Well, the next game may be a little bit more exciting than the one we just finishing up with, 40-14. That's the game between the Los Angeles Rams, the regular season 10-3-1, the Dallas Cowboys 11-3. Rams and Cowboys have, of course, been there before. Coach Chuck Knox has led his Western champion Los Angeles team to 4 consecutive division playoff appearances. Coach Tom Landry has directed East champion Dallas to postseason play 10 times, including 8 division titles in the last 11 seasons of his 17-year term as Cowboys' only coach. The Cowboys, of course, lost to the Redskins in the final game of the season. They'd already wound up as the champions in that division. The Redskins got the wild card. Now, of course, the winner of the Cowboys game with Los Angeles will now meet the Minnesota Vikings, who demolished the Redskins in Bloomington, Minnesota, in that first game on Saturday. The NFC Championship game, of course, is next Sunday, December 26th.
We have 6 minutes and 1 second remaining here at Baltimore's Memorial Stadium, and the Pittsburgh Steelers on the way to their 10th straight victory. They lead it 40-14. Theo Bell, now in as a wide receiver, is wide to the right. Mike Kruzek is the man from Boston College who is now the quarterback, and he hands off to Frenchie Fuqua. He goes off the left side, advances the ball from the 35 up to about the 39-yard line. A gain of 4 by John Frenchie Fuqua, 5'11", 200 pound, 9-year veteran out of Morgan State. He and Reggie Harrison have carried the brunt of the ground game here in the second half because of injuries to Rocky Blyer and to Franco Harris. Fuqua and Harrison in the backfield. Out to the right again, we've got Theo Bell. Back to throw. Kruzek flips it out. It's caught at the 45, makes it the 35, but up to the 40-yard line. Reggie Harrison makes the catch and gets the ball up to the 40-yard line and no more. A pickup of maybe a yard on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 5 yards to go for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
You know, Mike Kruzek, Tony, coming in, filling in for injured Terry Bradshaw, winning the 6 starts, would have really been a contender for the Rookie of the Year had there not been so really many outstanding rookies this year.
He's 6'1", 196 pounds, a second-round draft choice out of Boston College, and dropping back to throw. Looking, fires that ball over the middle. It's caught by Bell at the 50-yard line, and he dives ahead into Baltimore territory, down to about the 47-yard line. Theo Bell, 5'11", 180 pounds, the 5th-round draft choice out of Arizona, making the catch. Another first down for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Benny Cunningham, who was in at tight end, is out right now. Ernest Pugh is in the ball game. He is wide left as Bell comes out to the right. And right now, Randy Grossman, a 6'1", 215-pound, 4-year veteran from Temple, is the tight end on the left side. Kruzek turns around, gives the ball to Fuqua. Fuqua runs into a lot of blue shirts, gets the ball down to the 46-yard line. That's as far as he goes. As Big Joe Ehrman, the 4-year veteran from Syracuse, makes the hit on the play.
When I hear Randy Grossman's name, Tony, I think right away the Super Bowl catches, the scoring catches that he made. There's depth for you. You take Larry Brown, the tight end originally, Benny Cunningham behind him, number 89, who is just entering into the game, and Randy Grossman as the 3rd possible tight end receiver. That's quite a combination for a 43-man roster.
Well, Grossman is out and Cunningham is back in. Wide right is Bell out to the left. We've got Ernest Pugh. It'll be 2nd down and 9 to go as Kruzek drops back to throw. Looking out of the backfield. Harrison at the 45, at the Baltimore 40, to the outside 35, at the 30, and he's knocked down there as the tackle is made by Brian Sauter. A 15-yard play, and the Steelers are just unstoppable this afternoon.
Well, Mike Kruzek is really a short throw, accurate throw guy, and he's shown that all the way through his career at Boston College. That little gem that they just unfolded there was Ben Cunningham at tight end running on a diagonal to do an out and let the back cross underneath him all the way under. Well, that's just a little throw over the middle, but it's got to be done right in stride, which Mike Kruzek can do very well.
At the 31-yard line of the Baltimore Colts, the Steelers have have the ball. First down and 10. Kuzak drops back to throw. Being rushed. Eludes the tacklers at the 40-yard line. At the 35, fires. It's caught by Bell. Spins away from the tackler at the 20 and is finally knocked down by Ray Oldham at the 19-yard line. That is enough for another Pittsburgh first down.
Well, the Baltimore Colts pass defense has been riddled here today. It was early by Terry Bradshaw for 3 quarters. It is now by Mike Krusek with a continuance of 3 straight completions. They're marching on. I don't think they're necessarily interested in scoring with 2:08 left on it, but Mike Krusek is 4 out of 4 for 40 yards. Well, there's a timeout with a score. The Pittsburgh Steelers 40 and the Baltimore Colts 14. Now this word.
Bad news for Kentucky, University of Kentucky fans of sports. The NCAA has slapped the University of Kentucky with a 2-year probation Sunday because of rule violations in the football and basketball programs. Under the probation, the school's football team, which plays North Carolina in the Peach Bowl at Atlanta, will be barred from postseason competition following the 1977 football season. The Wildcat football team also will be prohibited from appearing on national television during the first year of the probation. In addition, the school will be permitted only 25 new scholarships in football for the 1977-78 academic year, 5 less than permitted under the rules. And Kentucky will be allowed to award only 3 new basketball scholarships in each of the next 2 academic years. The chairman of the NCAA Infractions Committee said the penalties could have been more severe if Kentucky had not cooperated with the investigation.
We're at the 2-minute mark of the ball game. A reminder that after this one's over, we head for Texas Stadium. Lindsey Nelson and Pat Sheridan for the NFC Divisional playoff game between the Dallas Cowboys and the visiting Los Angeles Rams. And I think we'll follow the same pattern we had yesterday. High-scoring game for an opener and a tight one for a nightcap. 517 offensive yards for the Pittsburgh Steelers this afternoon. First down and 10 for Pittsburgh. They've got the ball at the Baltimore 19. Krusek has the time, throws off the hands of the intended receiver. It was Ernest Pugh at the 15-yard line. Incomplete pass. That'll make it 2nd and 10. Oakland Coliseum was site of Michigan National Football League showdown. That'll be the spot next week, and the Ritual Sports will be there. We'll have all the play-by-play as the Oakland Raiders battle the Pittsburgh Steelers. Last year's Pittsburgh-Oakland match, of course, will go down as one of the best in the NFL ever. The rematch should be no exception. That's the AFC title game next Sunday over many of these mutual network stations. 2nd down, 10 to go. Kuzak again over the middle. The pass is caught by Harrison coming out of the backfield, and he gets a couple of yards on the play. He's hit and driven down right around the 16-yard line. The tackle made by Darrell Luce. Well, you want to talk about intensity. We saw Oakland and Pittsburgh in the regular season opener time. Next week for the American Football Conference Championship, I don't know.
And don't forget it, just a minute and 26 seconds from now, we'll tune in with Lindsey Nelson and Pat Sheridan. Dallas-LA game is underway.
Out to the right, we've got Theo Bell, the handoff. Draw play, the ball going to Fuquay. Fuquay at the 10, at the 5, and down to the 4. Brian Sauter makes the tackle for the Baltimore Colts. The Colts defense is all but given up here. As Fuquay going off to the left side, a little sprint, gets the ball down to the 3-yard line, and with 50 seconds left, the Steelers can make it 47-14.
Well, it's got to be a heartbreak. It's got to be frustration for the Baltimore Colts, who have fought valiantly to get in this playoff.
Well, they've been eliminated twice in the first round by the same team. The defending Super Bowl champion Pittsburgh Steelers. Krusek got the line set. Turn around. Give Fuquay. Try to go to the outside. Can't touch him. Tripped up on the play by Ray Oldham, the right quarterback, who came in to make the hit. Get the ball down to about the 2-yard line. And the Steelers are not going to run another play. They will let the time run out. We have 13 seconds on the clock. It is now down to the 10-second mark. Down to 8. Down to 6. It's down to 4. Take at 2. And this football game is over. The final score, Pittsburgh 40, Baltimore 14. And that means it'll be Oakland and Pittsburgh next week at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum.
Well, it's about something like the game we had on Saturday in the first game. That was the NFC playoff game where Minnesota routed the Redskins 35-20. Actually, it was more lopsided than that. They sent the reserves in, and the Redskins scored a couple of touchdowns on passes by Billy Kilmer. So the game really didn't indicate actually the lopsided affair between the Vikings and the Redskins. So that should be a good matchup. The Oakland Raiders, winners by 3 points as the Stabler went over in the waning moments of the game on a rollout to the left. The Oakland Raiders are the best record in professional football, meeting the Pittsburgh Steelers, the toughest team on defense. 14 points is a lot of points for Pittsburgh to allow. They hadn't allowed that many points since they allowed Houston 16. That was 4 weeks before the end of the regular season. Now, Pittsburgh and Oakland have met before. That was in the opening game of the season where Oakland won by 31-28. This broadcast was authorized under rights granted by the Pittsburgh Steelers, Baltimore Colts, and the National Football League. It was intended solely for the entertainment of the AFRTS listening audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Baltimore Colts, and the NFL is prohibited. Our thanks again to Mutual's Tony Roberts and Tom Pagna for their description of today's game from Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland.